Oh shit! They're big here. It's intense, everybody. It's intense. I mean. Yeah, we will, man. Sorry about the other night. But now I'm dancing with pistons. Is this what you want to see? Is this what you want to see? You want to see this? Look at that fancy shit. Well, now I'm all zoomed in. Work. I've never used one. I've never thought about buying one. But Tara actually was really kind and sent me all four different sizes and some white paint. So yes, it's for models. Okay, it just doesn't look like it, but I presume because it says acrylic on it, it'll be all right. But yeah, thank you so much, Tara. I know I've messaged you and said thank you, but thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Let's have a look what it looks like on the palette. Yeah, it comes with a quick release adapter, I think, as well. Oh, it comes with 3 nozzles, that one as well. I'm going to save that one. Let's add it to the basket. Includes 0.2, 0.3, 0.5 needles with also broad spray pattern. Quick cut plate, yeah, so it does come with a cup as well. Do I have a moist?
There, where you want to get zumped in the face. That's it. Now jump pad.
Holy shit.
That's it. That was some sick right now.
Oh shit.
Get your AR out or sniper rifle and go for the...
Where are we going? Straight forwards. Here goes. You just jump. How do you do it? Wait. Use.
There.
Oh. That was it. How do you get
the parachute? Oh my.
Where's the parachute? What's the parachute button? This guy's just looking at me like, what the fuck are you doing?
He's giving you the blue bottle. Go back. There's a blue bottle right next to him.
Oh shit. I'll give him this shitty AR. Fucking god. I've got loads of time, like a minute.
Oh my god, someone clip that. Use the jump pad, alright. Well done.
I don't know what the parachute button is. I didn't know you could still use it. Oh my god, that's all I'm doing.
Is that you?
Is that you there? Yeah, that is you. Are you jumping?
Yeah.
Hey man.
Stay still, stay still.
Oh god. Oh dear god. Guys, this is what happens when he's not streaming. He just turns into a terrible child. Boy, the game is on. Fuck, who put a brick wall in my way? Okay, I suck at it. Dude, I do too. Let's suck together. I keep suggesting it, but I reckon my Discord will probably be shit again. Do you want to see some feet? Are you ready? Ooh, boy. Ooh. Ooh.
That wasn't clipped. I feel like he's failed us.
I love doing it and making it funny, and then watching it back again is even better.
I feel like he's failed us.
Tom Spear going into an Onega, is that right? Yep.
Hank Johnson, thanks for the follow,
Hank
dude.
Jensen.
We're just in Blood Raven's turn 2 at the moment versus the AdMech. So, as Mikey would say, take a pew. And we'll be
Take
cracking
a what?
Take a pew. Take a pew. I forgot about the.
Well, when Harry's night dies, I'm pulling there.
Is everybody ready?
Yeah.
Welcome to the live podcast, the bonus podcast. Did that hurt your ears, everyone? Was that okay?
Hurt my ears.
Good. So welcome in, everyone. Tonight we're going to be talking to Tank and Dan. Say hello, Tank and Dan.
Hello.
Hi guys.
There you go. So we're going to be chatting about the Las Vegas Open. So this is like the pre-show where you guys tell us if the sound's all right, if you can hear everyone, if there's any weird noises before we go into the actual stream. Dan says we're all shite. Fantastic.
Off to a good start.
Yeah.
So do we sound okay? Does everyone want to just... Do you want to... I know, we should all go around the room, all four of us, because there are four of us tonight, and say our favourite army, but you can't say Blood Angels. So, Elliot, do you want to start? Say, my name is Elliot, and my favourite army is...
My name is Elliot, and my favourite army is the 9th Legione Astartes.
Fantastic.
Haha, got you there.
Go and then I'll go next.
Then.
My name's Tanker. My favourite army is the Vilka Fenrica.
Very good. Dan?
I'm Dan, and my favourite army is the Eater of Worlds, the World Eaters.
Fantastic. So it says it. Ollie has said it looks good and it sounds right. A-OK. Fantastic. Toby says, why no Tank and Dan cam? Because we're doing it over the internet. And it they're on their phones and stuff, so they'd have to hold it up, and it'd be a nightmare.
I've got a camera, but I don't know how to get it on.
Using
there you go.
use
That's a
ferrets.
good start. With step one, get sound through. We'll worry about the picture later.
Yeah, they can teach us how to get the videos up another time.
Philippe Martin says, first time catching you live as well. What a feeling. Oh, what a legend. Look at that. There's a weird noise coming out of your mouth, Mikey, from Mohawk Miniatures. Fantastic. So I think it sounds okay, other than insults dying already. So, is everyone ready for an actual podcast now?
Oh, I don't know. It's a big ask.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Elliot, are you ready? You're the co-host. Don't forget, you have to ask all the questions, and I just look pretty.
I just said it. I don't know whether I'm ready.
Well...
You can't even recognise my own voice. This is heresy. This is heresy of the finest order, and I am not happy about what's happening. Yes, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's go and do a Warhammer.
Stop talking.
No.
Welcome, everyone, to the Hellstorm Wargaming bonus podcast, number 9.
Is it number 9 if it's the bonus one, or is it not 8.2?
It's 8 star. 8 star 2. 8 star 2.
8 star.
Yeah.
E2.
So
Continue from previous page.
Today is a bonus podcast. So this is Tuesday night in the week that we normally don't do a podcast because we are joined by two lovely guests. We've got Tank and Dan. Say hi, Tank and Dan.
Hiya.
Hey guys.
So they're going to be telling us all about the Las Vegas Open, their experiences of the singles championship and the Long War doubles, which sounded super cool. You got to meet King Kenny from Next Level Painting.
Certainly did.
So
My hero.
There we go. So we'll be hearing all about that. But tonight I've got a very special host, co-host even. I've got the lovely new mic'd up Elliot. How are you, Elliot?
Hello, I have a new microphone. I'm very well. I've been full of a cold, full of Nurgle's blessing. I'm just getting over it.
We learned on a previous podcast that if you've got a cold, it's just sexy podcast voice. That's all it is.
Sexy podcast. I do sound a bit gruffer.
Yeah,
So
you're like,
Yeah, today on the podcast.
Got that obliterator virus.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. It's the new virus and the new obliterate models. So I say we do a podcast every 2 weeks on a Wednesday, but this is a bonus one on a Tuesday. But normally it's at 8 p.m. GMT, I think it is, or is it BST? It's GMT at the minute, isn't it?
Well, it's not British summertime, is it?
It is rather cold for a summertime. So it is at 8 o'clock GMT. If you want to check it out, you can catch it live on Twitch and YouTube. I'm going to do the capitalism. If you want to support the podcast, you can subscribe on Twitch to get cool emotes. You can join on YouTube to get cool emotes. And you can also subscribe to hellstormwargaming.co.uk and get more battle reports. And it's also the cheapest way to do it. There you go. I've done the capitalist stuff. So,
Tank, as a Tau player, how do you feel when we advertise the channel like that, a very capitalist way? Because you're a bit of a communist player, aren't you?
Yeah, I've got mixed feelings about that actually.
how else
We'll
could
bring
we
it
do
over HR after the stream. Don't worry.
HR. So,
Man's got to eat away.
yeah. So obviously that you guys went to the LVO, but you went under the Hellstorm Wargaming banner because you are our 2 new team members. Hooray!
We did, yeah.
Ray.
So let's get into the nitty gritty. We haven't got a food review today because it was too much messing about. We only just got sound working.
Yes.
So the Las Vegas Open. We're just going to ask a few questions. There's a few questions in the chat. If you've got any questions you want to ask Tank and Dan, then do let us know in the chat now or in Discord. We do have all that. So talk to me about the venue for a start, because obviously you've got like you guys travelled on from London, was it, to get over there?
Yeah,
we travelled from.
Sorry, mate, you fire away first.
Sorry, yeah. Gatwick Airport straight to Vegas. Nice 10 hours flight there.
A nice 10-hour flight. So how was the jet lag initially?
That was probably the worst bit, trying to get used to the time zone and just because I know Tank had a bit of a practice game beforehand, and I was just sat there watching it afterwards, and going up to a few other people, just absolutely
dying.
bit out of it, yeah, hanging.
You've gone kind of almost the right way though, haven't you? Because if you go forwards, I've heard that's worse. Because then everyone else is like going to sleep, and you're like, well, I've been up 3 hours, I'm not going to sleep. So at least you've kind of gone back, and you just have to survive the day and then go to bed as normal.
Yeah, it's hard sort of when you're there for the first few. We're only there for sort of 5 or 6 days, and sort of for the first like 4 days of that, your body naturally wants to wake up at like 4 a.m.
Oh no!
And it wants to go to bed at like 5 in the afternoon. So.
You're still playing games at that point.
Yeah, it's pretty tough.
So what was the venue like? Realistically, that's probably the most important question. Like, was it? Obviously, there's like what is it? 850 registered players.
Yeah, I think they ended up with 670 because I think they always get like 10% dropouts. I heard someone say.
Yeah, that's usually the standard. So you're gonna lose.
Yeah,
quite a few, but.
The venue's fantastic, though. I mean, I was expecting for it to be spread across sort of all different halls and things, but all the 40k was in one massive hall with like sort of obviously like 300 odd tables in, and it wasn't crammed at all. Like we just don't have buildings that big in the UK. It would be if you imagine. Have you ever been to the GMEX?
No.
Yeah, I've been to the GMEX. I've been to a gig there. It's huge.
Yeah. If you imagine like the main hall of the GMEX, and that was the 40k hall, that's what you're kind of talking about.
There aren't that many people play 40k in the UK, I don't think.
Yeah, I know.
to be able to fill that hall, it's huge.
It wasn't crammed at all. There was loads of space between the tables.
Okay.
The only thing that did surprise me a bit, everyone was making a big deal about how much line of sight blocking terrain there is at the LVO. How dense it is, and while it was all nice looking terrain,
just like Warhammer World,
really good. I'd say there was more line of sight blocking than Warhammer World, to be fair to them.
Yeah,
but I'd say if you've ever been to like LCO or Element Games tournaments, it's pretty much identical to that in terms of like line of sight blocking and things.
Interesting stuff. Yeah, because that is actually a question that one of the guys in the Discord asked. P.S. We do have Discord if you want to join. It was. let me just pull it up. It was.
That was a smooth segue.
It was Charles Fox was interested about the terrain in the magic boxes. Like, how often did you see the dubbed magic boxes? And by that we mean ITC made their own terrain rules. Where basically if you had a ruin which was like 4 walls and a roof, you could get inside if you're infantry, you couldn't get inside if you were anything else, and essentially you could hide inside these boxes to not get shot and stuff like that. So were there many of the magic boxes? Did you see them used against you? Did you use them yourself? What did you think?
How many did you have, Dan?
Out of the 6 games, I played on the same type of board 4 times and magic boxes once. So
Okay.
And that was against a custodial list, and they had was it 10 wardens and Trajan sat in the middle of a magic box, like just begging me to go near it. So
just not doing anything.
Yeah, just
that's a lot of points sat in the box
around the board.
Yeah, going off.
Yeah, it is.
What Dan said there, they kind of had the tables were in rows of like identical terrain sets with identical layouts.
Okay.
So you'd have like 2 rows of tables that were all like sort of Gothic ruins, 2 rows that were all like I call it like the shopping centre terrain set.
Yeah,
right.
The magic box, didn't they, really? The shopping centre ones.
Yeah, I think I was about to say I had a bit of variety. I think I had magic boxes in sort of half my games, but they did come into play, to be honest, both for and against me. But I suppose we can sort of flip-flop and go through our games in a bit, and we can probably talk about that a bit more then.
Yeah. I've got to ask, what do you mean by the shopping terrain? What style is that?
It's kind of like an undamaged 80s American,
like a high street.
Center. Yeah, with sort of like colourful buildings that are in good shape and things.
Right.
And like perfect square boxes. There's a big one in the middle.
Yeah.
And then there's sort of one in, I think it's just L shapes actually, with a massive one, L in each corner and a massive one in the middle.
Yeah.
I got my pants really pulled down by that actually. A combination of grotesque after.
Oh, fantastic. So there's a couple of questions that come up already. So Cool Skins is in the YouTube chat, and he says, "It's me, the Dutch Tau player." So who played the Dutch Tau player?
I played, yes. I played a Tau player. My first game. He brought a friend who's now in the Merchant Navy. I hope that's going well for him. Yeah, we had a really, really good game. I don't know if he'll want me to say his name, so I just won't.
Okay.
But yeah, he was
tournament.
Yeah, there you go. CJ said his name in the chat.
There you go.
Yeah, it was at the Alliance Open.
So Philippe Martins asked, "I want to know how awesome it is not to play Drukhari at the LVO." was there a lot of Drukhari about? Because obviously they are the strongest faction.
I had 2 games against sort of Drukhari soup.
Okay.
I had none, but I was up against a lot of Imperial.
You got lucky.
Knights and soup. So
amazing. So with that, let's go through some of your games. So who wants to? We can't go into every nitty gritty detail of each game because I don't think everyone has all night. But let's say Tank. How did your first game go? What was it against? What sort of units did you see, and how did you get on?
Okay, it was quite funny actually. It was a nice little introduction to the tournament for me. Mm-hmm. We were actually like discussing what we'd like to get in the first game, and I actually said I want someone who's brought a Land Raider.
Yes.
I actually got someone with Ultramarines and a Land Raider.
Oh my god!
But to be fair, it was like the Forge World 4+ Invulnerable Save Land Raider.
Oh yeah.
With like the FUD gun thing on top.
Yeah, the quad launcher. What the weapon? Is it the Achilles? It might be.
I think it had
the Achilles.
I think it had las cannons on the side, and it has like a quad gun on the top.
Right. Okay.
And it's got a 4+ invulnerable save. It was a bit of a pain in the arse, actually.
It's the one that Neil uses in his Iron Warriors list when he takes all 3 Land Raiders.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Mohawk Miniatures has confirmed that it is the Achilles in chat.
Yeah, that's
the Achilles.
I corrected myself straight away. Shut up.
So yeah, this guy had, I can't remember the list exactly. He was called Greg. He was like a nice lad, and he had obviously Gilliman. He had some of the new like bodyguard guys.
The honor guard thingy.
Yeah, the honor guard guys. He had he had some intercessors. He had 3 whirlwinds, which hid in a back corner that were actually quite good against my drones.
Yeah.
And sort of some characters to give those some rerolls.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he had this Land Raider, and his basic plan was the whirlwinds were there to sort of clear chaff out of line of sight. Mm-hmm. And he basically drove this Land Raider with a 4++ at you, giving it +1 to hit off Tiggy. And Gilliman and the intercessors kind of followed up behind it, like Vietnam or something.
Nice.
But yeah, it it turned out to be my easiest game, as you'd probably imagine.
Yeah, so obviously you had broadsides, you had riptides, and you had all the fire warriors.
Yeah, I mean,
and you had Derek.
I had Derek through. I didn't need Derek in that game really, but he still jumped on an objective and did some work. But yeah, it took me 2 turns to kill that Land Raider.
Wow.
But basically, I ended up pretty much tabling him. Towards the end, Gilliman went for like a last gasp charge when most of the rest of the army was dead.
Yeah.
I got him down to his last wound on my Overwatch.
Yeah.
He got into a Riptide. He did a few wounds to it, but largely whiffed.
Mm-hmm.
And then hilariously, the Riptide swung back and took his last wound off and killed him.
Amazing. That's it. Game 1, tower punching people to death. You
Scott,
just had not holding back.
And then he was out at CP by then.
Yeah.
And he failed his roll for Gilliman to get back up, and he said, "Oh, let's call it there."
Yeah.
So
that's fair.
Yeah, that was the first one.
Quite a high score.
That
scored
was,
35 points there. I've got your sheet here in front of me.
yeah, I've made some notes actually. I'm prepared.
Look at you guys. First podcast you brought
More than I've
notes. Sounds good. Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, that was a 35-20 win.
Okay.
Being
Solid
honest,
score.
it should have been about 35-7 or 8 or something.
Yeah.
When he conceded on turn 3, I sort of said to him like, "Oh, let's say that I fed you these characters for the last few turns because I may as well help him get as many points as he can. It makes no difference to me."
Yeah, that's true.
And I just said,
So
I just
you're
said,
actively admitting that you fudged the scores.
Yeah, I just said like you would hold that one for the rest of the game. You probably would have killed all my crappy little characters, and let's just say you got 20.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Cool. So nice, a really good solid win. Smashing a Land Raider game 1. Dan, how did it go for you?
Yeah, I had
Did you have a Land
Craft
Raider?
World first game. No, I didn't. The guy pulled because for the first 30 minutes, I think only Tank out of the English group had BCP working where we could find out who we were playing. So you had everyone going up to Tank trying to find out what table they were on, and it was just chaos to start with. So I came up to my table. There's about 4 different people there, and then I just saw Craft World, all these flyers, scat bikes, all just they didn't move, and the guy came over. "Oh, you must be down." I'm like, "Oh, great, thanks." So I went through. Luckily, it wasn't Yanari. I thought it was going to be Yanari, and he'd be soul bursting all the way across the game, but it was just a Latark and some other little bits. So if I remember right, it was Dusty, who's actually a fan of the channel.
Nice.
Which is quite cool.
Hi, Dusty.
Did he have Imperial Guard? Oh no, you just talked about Craft World. Yeah, sorry. Someone put from the LVO first match. Oh, from the doubles.
Doubles.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's the doubles, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm keeping track. We'll catch up with all the comments after a couple of games. So how did the first game go? What sort of units did he have?
Yes. So he had 3 squads of 5 Reapers. So straight away, I've got Alpha Legion. So on my Alpha Legion, trying to get that -1 to hit, be really a pain in the backside for people. They're just ignoring that. They've got 3 Hemlocks with auto hitting weapons.
Nice. Flamers.
3 squads of 5. Yep. Yeah, just deleting cultists, and 3 squads of 5 scat bikes as well, which we all know how good scat bikes are now.
Yeah.
So yeah, that went okay. He absolutely trashed me, like killing my units, but luckily I managed to beat him by a point, 28-27, according to this. So,
okay.
Ooh.
Yeah,
that's really good.
I managed to shut down his Reapers for because he absolutely, like I said, destroyed the Reapers. Were able to just shoot all like Leviathan, Sakara, and Tank off the board quite early. So then I was left mainly with characters which were just smiting away. So I had a Supreme Command of Araman, 2 sorcerers.
Yeah.
And excuse me, they were kind of just left in the open, but luckily I was able to tag and trap some Reapers with my tidy cultists, and that shut down this whole section of army because they couldn't shoot anything because everything else was out of line of sight, out of range. And it was just the characters in the middle. So yeah, I got a little bit lucky there, but no. So we both started the first game quite positive with a decent win each.
Yeah, I think obviously I'm planning to go to the LVO next year, and if I go to the LVO and lose my first game, I'll just be like, fuck this shit, man.
But you get people like that. You get people dropouts after term on because they're there just to win the whole event, and if they lose, they see there's no point.
Mikey, it's tough, mate. You've got to bring the heat there. Sort of.
Yeah.
We both felt like we thought our lists. We knew our lists weren't sort of broken top tier, but we thought they were kind of solid 7 or 8 out of 10 lists. But I think we were a bit like undergunned, really, with what we're bringing there.
So the general feel was just horrific. Like level. I suppose if it's that when you go into something like the LVO, which is essentially the finals of all the Warhammer from the year, people are they're going to go if they're going to take the heat. You're not going to because GW heats or general tournaments, then you usually get like some really good players, some players that have not played before, and then you get like a really mismatch in the middle. But I guess it's like it's all the good players that are going to the LVO. They're not spending all that money to just like go and have a laugh because they've never been to a tournament before. Unless they are, it's fair play to them, you know.
We thought with there being so many players that there'd probably be a lot of, crappy.
A lot of variation.
Yeah.
You can have the really tough players and then a lot of people.
The standard was a lot better than we thought.
Yeah. Okay. That's something to be aware
also,
of.
Also, knowing the secondaries as well and practicing on the secondaries a couple of games I'll talk about later. I just didn't score that many points because messed up on the secondary. So, having that practice on the ITC missions and the secondaries and stuff like that is really key if you want to go over and do well.
Yeah.
Exactly. Talking about first round draws, Simon, the English lad who plays Orcs.
Is it Simon Pridis?
Yeah, he got Sean Naden in the first round.
Nice.
He only lost by a point, like fair fucks.
Yeah, it's just a point. Isn't
it? That's like the US ETC team, isn't it? Well, he was.
He's a captain, isn't he?
I think so.
Yeah, that's tough.
So I'll just quickly catch up with some comments before going to game 2. Marco says in the YouTube chat, had the pleasure of playing tank at LVO game 3. Cool dude. So there you go. He's watching. Hi, dude.
Oh yeah, we had a top game. It was super close.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it more after.
Yeah, and then Atomic Hurdle, also in the YouTube chat, I think Elliot kind of mentioned, said Dan Tank Harry from the LVO doubles. First match guard player, the one with the freshly painted basilisk that could only do 1 damage. So there you go. So
that doubles game was a lot of fun. I absolutely love the doubles aspect of the weekend.
Yeah,
that game's hilarious.
Well, thank you very much for joining, guys. So, both on a win. How did game 2 go, Tank?
So, game 2, I actually had someone who knows you, Mikey.
Oh, really?
A really good player called Boris from Bad Moon Cafe.
Oh yeah, I know Boris. Me and Boris are good friends. He's a really nice
so it was a shame to draw another English player because we're obviously all hoping to
play new people like
each out kind of thing.
Yeah. Because you formed almost like an English squad, didn't you, by accident?
Yeah, it was really cool. But Boris had he had like a pretty spicy list, and he was quite good with it. He had not a million miles from yours, actually. He had like a blob of 9 grotesques.
Nice.
6 Talos, 3 Ravagers. He'd souped in Eldrad and a Warlock on a bike for Doom and Jinx and Executioner.
Mm-hmm.
And he had the usual good stuff like Vexator Mask, some racks.
Quite typical, but the strongest parts of the Eldar.
Yeah, really good. Quite a cookie list, but really good.
Nice.
So yeah, this was actually a really close game up to a tipping point.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually came down to like a really sort of crazy sort of dice roll.
Really?
I'll talk you through it. So we sort of deployed, and I measured like the maximum threat ranges for the. Obviously, he put his grotesques in a magic box.
So there was a magic box. I thought that was going to be my question. So obviously grotesque is super strong, 4+ invuln, toughness like 5 with 4 wounds.
Yeah.
Toughness 6 if they're near a homunculus, and then they can go into magic boxes.
Yeah, the box didn't really come into play in this game, as it turned out, but he was able to deploy his grots into a magic box, also right on the line, and he hid his Talos sort of just behind them, behind the magic box.
Yeah.
And I kind of measured the maximum distance for in case he rolled a 12 on his charge first turn, and just made sure I was like a comfortable inch outside that. So I'd definitely get a turn of shooting at him, whatever he did.
Yeah.
He had less drops and he won the roll to go first. And he was like very aggressive. He advanced the grotesques forward.
Yeah.
He had Eldrad and the Jinx lock, should I say? The Vexator Mask dude sort of in a little pocket inside the behind the relic. And the Talos came up just behind them, but they were probably like another turn away from getting in.
Okay.
And he brought the Ravagers up to be in range. He got Doom and Jinx off on a Riptide.
Yeah.
And I think he sort of killed most of my drones, like all of them apart from a couple that turn. And he also, I think he nearly killed a Riptide with sort of Smite and Executioner and some of the shots that went through, and then I was obviously jinxed. But it wasn't too bad, and I still had sort of most of my army left.
Yeah.
And then in my first turn, I was like, right, if I can shoot those 9 grotesques off, I can shoot those characters because you've put them up front.
Yeah.
And he was kind of like, I think he was like, oh, I've maybe been a bit aggressive there. So I sort of said to him, I said, like, what I want to do this turn is shoot those grots off and then try and get at least 2 of those characters because Doom and Jinx was killing me.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, you've obviously got the broadside with a 2-up save. You've got the Riptides with a 3-up invuln at most of the game. You don't want that dropping.
The Doom and Jinx, the Ravagers with the Doom and Jinx is like such a horrendous combo.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I presume you had the Archon with the reroll ones as well back there.
He did, yeah. He was just chilling with the Ravagers at the back.
Yeah.
But to cut a long story short, I killed all the grotesques apart from one.
Oh.
And there was one grotesque left with 2 wounds left stood in front of these 3 characters.
Yeah.
And I had a Riptide left to shoot who'd been powered up to 18 shots.
Yeah.
And I had a full unit of broadsides left to shoot who I'd obviously cowie on that turn. So I was re-rolling to hit. And I'd spent the command point on that unit of broadsides so they were re-rolling to wound as well. So I basically had like a squad of Gilliman broadsides. So I was like, right, that last grot has to die.
Yeah.
And then I can throw like a broadside into each character with full rerolls.
Jumping now.
Anyway, the
Powered up.
Riptide shoots his smart missiles at the grotesque, does nothing.
Oh god.
Then he shoots 18 shots with his cannon. They had 5 marker lights on, so he was hitting on freeze, re-rolling everything.
He never failed, did
and
you?
then I'd popped the focus fire strat on them as well, so he was wounding them on freeze.
Oh, freeze.
Anyway, with his big main gun, the Riptide puts 14 wounds on this grotesque.
Yeah.
Boris goes on to roll 13 out of 14 4+ saves.
Oh my god, you're joking.
And I had my head in my hands at this point, and I was like, it's okay. He's probably still going to die. There's one gone through. It's 2 damage.
Just needs to roll 1/6 and he lives.
He rolled 1/6 and it survived. Left.
You're joking. What the hell?
Horrendous.
Oh my god.
I'm not saying that if I'd killed those characters, I would have won the game, but it certainly would have made it like super close.
Oh mate,
so
that is so lucky.
I had my Super Saiyan broadsides left.
Yeah.
And all it shot at was Ravagers, and this one grot. And I knew that I had the Doom and Jinx and the Smite and the Executioner coming at me again next turn.
Yeah.
So I did manage to bring a couple of the Ravagers down to like a couple of wounds each.
Yeah.
And I did kill this bloody grot. I think I put like 48. I think I put 24 SMS into it, and it finally died.
Rerolling a wound.
So, yeah, and
Oh,
and after
mate.
that, he got Doom and Jinx off again. He smited me again. Then the Talos were coming in like the second wave.
Yeah.
And I think he was rolling quite well on the Ravagers that were wounded, and although they were hitting on 5s, it felt like they were brand new.
Yeah.
I just got ground
hot,
down.
obviously.
Then that was like the turning point. I said to him, "You've just won the game with that roll," and he was like, "Yeah, fair one." But we had a great game, and I wasn't salty or anything. It's just like there's nothing you can do when stuff like that happens.
Yeah, it's a good dude, is Boris.
He's a top guy. He's a real class act. He ended up beating me 33-17 in the end.
Right. Okay. That's so unlucky. Like 13.
I think Boris went on to go 4-2, so he did really well.
Nice, but it was probably what you'd say is like a standard Dark Eldar. Well, Eldar list at the minute, wouldn't you? Talos, Grotesques, Ravagers, and then Psychic Shenanigans. He actually messaged me after the event, and he said he took that same list, less a little bit, to Heat 4, and I think he qualified quite easily. So.
Oh, I'm not surprised because he's good with it as well.
Yeah. So fair play to the guy. So 1-1 so far.
Yeah.
Dan, save the day. How did it go in game 2?
Yeah, so game 2 I had Colby, and my first crack at an Imperial Soup list at the LVO.
Okay.
Yeah, the Rusty 17.
Nice.
And it was Forge World. Is it Graya? I don't know if I can pronounce that right. Graya. Sisters. So
Sisters.
A lot of sisters. He was
right.
a lot of foot slugging sisters, and he also had, I think, a couple of Dominion squads. One big squad of Seraphim with pistols, like just double pistol in the sky, and then 3 of the organ guns, whatever those tanks.
Yeah. I can't remember what
they
they're called.
call
The
Exorcists. That's
it.
Yeah. And then we had a House Crusader to finish it off with the Gatling cannon and rapid fire battle cannons. So
House Raven.
A lot of shots. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, House Raven, because he was rerolling the ones and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
So I deployed first, but then he rolled a 6, and I didn't see. So he just moved everything up board. Had the right secondaries. So I think he had Reaper, because you would against my list with a lot of cultists, especially when you're tied in them. Recon an old school.
Okay.
He had Recon pretty much straight away with the Dominions moving, and then it's just
obviously with the Act of Faith now it gives them +2 to the movement, doesn't it? Rather than moving twice, so they get like +3 inches to the move, so they can get quite quick.
Yeah, so that was his list. So I thought, okay, this could be quite interesting. Everything had storm bolters, so I knew if it stayed put or if he got into range, you'd be, bringing the hurt on a poor power armor. But I was in cover with my power armor guys, so my Havocs and my Noise Marines, and I thought, we can do this on 2-up saves.
Minus
and
one
the first
to hit,
turn,
probably.
Yeah, -1 to hit. He, to say I rolled badly this game is an understatement. And to say he rolled exceptionally well. And I think the first turn I lost all my cultists, my 40 bobber cultists. I lost my Noise Marines that were on 2-up save just through Stormbolt fire. Yeah. And then I think he popped the Sakaran with his Exorcist and the Knight. So it wasn't a good start.
Yeah.
I was already straight away on the back foot with losing quite a lot of my army.
Mm-hmm.
I think I failed in my return. I took Butcher's Bill, so killed 2 units a turn, old school, and Mark for Death. For Death, he just put anything that I marked out of sight, and he just screened the board. So I have like obliterators that come in. I couldn't get the obliterators anywhere near good juicy targets, so I was kind of relying on the 1,000 Suns to do their wizard phase, basically, smiting, character sniping.
Yeah.
So I've got stuff like Zinch's Firestorm, Internal Gaze, I think it is.
Internal Gaze.
Doombolt. Yeah, where I can actually target characters that aren't the nearest, so you can like snipe warlords off and stop carry-ons happening when you play tank. So you learned with that one.
Yeah.
But back to this game. So really didn't go well for me on this one, and I took a heavy loss by the end of it. I think the Exorcists were actually quite rubbish all game, and then turn 5 he just popped the Exorcist on the Leviathan, hit with pretty much all these shots, and then they were just D6 damage, there's a 6, next one, D6 damage, there's a 6.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, bye pokey. So
wow.
At that point I kind of just had a couple of cultists left and my Chaos Lord, so yeah, rolled terrible, and I think that was an 18-30 loss to myself, so he scored a lot of points against me. Yeah, wasn't good. Did kill the knight though through smites and stuff like that, and I did kill his warlord through character sniping with the powers, which a lot of people didn't expect because they're just kind of thinking, oh, you know, you're not going to be able to get to the characters and stuff like this. But yeah,
but then psychic powers are like super cheeky.
Yeah, they are really cheeky, which I love about the list. So
yeah. They're
kind of like the MP, the Thousand Sun Supreme Command. Yeah. But another thing, I didn't really know what the sisters did with, because they've got the new codex. I've not looked into it. And the Acts of Faith, you need a 5 of Celestine to fight again, and you get a 6. Mm-hmm. You know, stuff like you drop the Seraphim down, and there was all those bolt pistols firing immediately and then firing in the shooting phase. So you've got a ridiculous amount of pistols, you know, clearing chaff, getting ready for jumping into charge phases and stuff like that. So, and when stuff did die, like the Rusty 17, he just rolled a 6 and they ignored the wound. So I was like, brilliant.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, so really bad loss for myself, and it put me on 1-1 for the going into round 3. So yeah, not ideal, but
oh, lucky, my friend. But was the game good? Did you enjoy it, or was it
just
like
it was cool? Yeah, I think he went on to do quite well, Colby. I've tried to keep an eye on his score, and I'm sure he was in the top 150. So
nice.
Shows like the caliber of player he was. So
Dan will be good because of something that we're going to announce towards the end of the podcast. But we'll see. Elliot, how do you feel about it so far? What do you think?
It sounds very tough. It's very interesting that you've gone over there just to end up playing Boris and people that we know. To travel all the way across the world. But it just sounds brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
not sure of like what stuff does, like myself with sisters, and kind of what they're like the Bloody Rose, and you know, kind of what they do. You can really get caught out quite easily and quite quickly, and found wanting on it. So
I suppose that the metas change anyway locally, don't they? I mean, if you go down to say Outpost, there'll be a different meta to whether it's Sanctuary, etc., and then to go across to a different country.
Yeah.
And see what the top players are playing in a different country. I mean, I know you can still access lists online and stuff, but I think you have to actually go there and play it, don't you, to really get a feel for the sort of list that you need to bring. So your first LVO experience is going to be a tough one anyway. And that's just what it sounds like. Just sounds tough. Sounds like I won't be able to do it.
Well, the American meta is completely different to like the UK meta as a whole. Because obviously, obviously there was Alex Harrison with his flyer list. Was it 7 flyers? I think he had 3 Crimson Hunters, Hemlock, and then 3 Razor Wings.
Mm-hmm.
And like in the UK, that list is getting like quite popular, but in the US, that was just like nowhere to be seen. Like,
it's overlooked. They don't want it.
Yeah. So
claim to fame. Alex's only 3 practice games he had with that list were against me and Dan.
Yeah. I remember you saying, because I should have asked about I didn't really get a chance to ask about your days running up to the LVO, but I was always so aware of time. Because I know you played against Nick Navati, didn't you, on the lead up to the event?
Yeah, so, like, I sort of was on his, you know, like he's got like a coaching website thing.
Yeah.
And I sort of, I did pay him to play him in this practice game, like a coaching game. I know it's a bit extravagant, but
how did you find it realistically? That's probably the right question.
I just thought, I'm going over to Vegas. I can like have a game with who's on paper the best player in the world at the moment, and have him teach me stuff. Like why not? It's my hobby, so
yeah.
It was really good though. He's a top guy. I mean, to be honest, I just thought it'd be amazing to sort of meet him in real life and have a game with him. But because Alex is friends with him as well from like previous LVOs and things. Mm-hmm. He actually ended up like hanging out with us all the time, like most evenings and breakfast, which was pretty surreal. So
Yeah, that was weird. Hanging with the top ITC players.
Yeah. Nice.
yeah,
Nice. That's really cool.
me and Dan with our our crappy record.
Alpha Legion Power Armor, that's cute.
Yeah. But
It's like everyone at breakfast was top 10 in the world in ITC, and then there's us two
you
idiots.
just like you sat at the end of the table with your 200s.
Yeah. Just smile and nod, Dan.
Yeah. I'm going back for more you can eat buffet.
Yeah. But you played against Alex Harrison, didn't you, Dan? And didn't you have like a proxy central?
Yeah, so Alex picked up a lot of his army on like the day of the tournament. Pretty much, he was still waiting for Scat Bites to come out. I would have freaked out.
You're just chilling.
People.
I'm in Vegas. I got no army.
Yeah,
be fine. Just come second.
Something. Yeah, someone will provide. It's Vegas,
Yeah.
Gamble an army away or something. But yeah, whilst Tank was playing Nick, Alex said, "Do you mind just testing one of these lists that I'm a bit unsure if my army will do well against?" And we ended up paint pots for his Scat Bikes, custodes for Woodwinds. We had a flyer stand for a Castellan, which is way too small anyway. But we kind of like proxied an extra couple of inches out of it. And
yeah, just don't stand too close.
All my cultists as guardsmen. Yeah, so. Big proxies. I think I had my familiar for my Chaos Sorcerer. He was a astropath, so a little tiny bird that made us a bit of a.
What were my Raven Guard scouts being?
Oh, what were they now? They were. I think that was another squad of Catachan jungle fighters.
Amazing, absolutely amazing.
Disguise.
It was baffling just trying to remember what the stuff was, and like, okay, is this guy's head? I have like a little bit of paper with, right? So
this guy's that big. What the hell does he do?
Yeah.
It was funny because I was watching a bit of that game after I'd finished with Nick, and Dan was doing things, and Alex would be like, "No, he wouldn't do that with it."
You literally there to roll dice, Dan.
Yeah, I was there to move. Do all the bitch work, move the models, listen to what he said, and roll dice.
Oh, mate. How was it though? Did you enjoy it?
It was a good laugh, and his list. I got to see his list and go up against it firsthand, which you don't really get that opportunity unless you're playing at the top tables, or if you just happen to be a bit unlucky and place in round one on a list. So yeah, it was good to see what it could put out and the damage it can do against a list like that, which a Castellan. It can delete potentially 2 flyers a turn if it splits its fire and gets greedy and stuff like that.
Easily.
And obviously the Bullgreens, because it was a table, we picked a table with the magic boxes, and there's quite a lot of magic boxes, so I was able to start them in a magic box,
move
them out, try and get them into like the middle of the board, and then you're looking for like board control, popping out and like charging characters and stuff like that. So that kind of list can work really well on the terrain.
Nice.
Tell you what though, like we sort of like fancy ourselves as like okay 40k players, but when you play people like him and Nick, they're just like, and I'd imagine like people like Manny and what have you are the same. They're just like different gravy.
Yeah.
Like the way they think about it's just so much deeper.
Yeah, because I played. It was at the Element Games Grand Slam. I played against Josh Roberts, who's captain of the England team. And I had a pretty good Yanari army, and he just like tore me a new one. It was like 9 Talos and loads of flyers, and I was just like, "Well, shit."
It's crazy, isn't it? Though, because if you don't play that level, I mean, there's that saying that you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
So if you never really come up against that sort of stuff, you don't realise that you're not going to cut the mustard. Yeah. Until you actually get there and don't cut the mustard.
Trying to cut it, and you're just like, I'm just getting bummed now. I've only lost 2 games with that list, and it was against Tank on a battle report, and it was against Josh Roberts. So there you go, Tank.
I was that battle report today. You just told me how it ends. Thank you.
Well, it's been out for like 2 months. What are you playing at?
Sorry, I apologise. I recognise my failure
versus Tau because Tank has a really cool list. Okay, so there you go. So that was a bit of a tangent, but we're gonna have to kind of fly through the next. There's like another 4 games to talk about, right?
Yeah,
before we get into
everything
doubles.
glitched.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have
They
to
get
like
quicker for me.
good. We're gonna have to like fly through them a little bit. So
So you have to do quick summaries now.
yeah. So Tank game 3. Win.
Okay,
loss.
game 3 was against Mark with his guard.
Oh,
and
Marco. Hi, Marco.
I think he said he's in the chat.
Yeah, he is.
He's an awesome guy, and he's also a fan of the channel.
Hi, dude.
Hello.
And he had a really cool guard list, which I don't really understand guards, so forgive me if I sort of butcher his list and what it does a bit, but I believe he had a guard brigade.
Okay.
He had a full-size squad of 9 Bulgrin,
Nice.
who I've never played against before, and they're hard as nails, those boys.
Yeah.
And then he had it was basically like the guard brigade kind of list, but instead of the Castellan, he had a shadow sword and a couple of tank commanders.
Yeah.
But the unusual twist he had the Vigilus detachment. So one of them had a flat 3 damage battle cannon.
Yeah, super cool that one. I saw that. I was talking about that with Liam the weekend.
And I think it had a stratagem where it could move full distance and still fire twice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brutal.
Is it the Emperor's Fist? I think it's called the detachment. It's for Lehman Russes and stuff.
Yeah, to cut along. And the other thing it could do, I think they were Talan, and it meant they could kind of fire and fade.
Nice.
Which
So
he
shoot
had, like,
and then move afterwards.
He had some nice like walls in his deployment zone, so he could like pop out, fire the tank with the flat 3 damage battle cannon, and then drive it back behind the wall again, which was
Cheeky.
a baller.
Yeah, and obviously that's shooting twice all the time, so it's 2d6 strength 8 minus 2d3 damage, which is super good.
Yeah, flat 3 damage. So he's a tank commander, so he's hitting on 3s. But I'm conscious we need to speed up a bit. So basically, we got hammer and anvil deployment, which was a nightmare for me because he's obviously got sort
Lots
of
of range.
infinite range, and I've got sort of 30 to 36. So I had to deploy quite aggressively, or I just wouldn't be able to hit him at all, and he'd be shooting me the whole game.
Yeah.
So I got to go first, luckily, and talking about the Bulgrin, it took pretty much my whole army to kill the squad of 9 Bulgrin.
My God.
It was like, and that's not even buffed by the Astropath yet. So yeah, the nails, those things. I really like them.
Yeah, they're like, what, they like 3 wounds, toughness 5 with the invuln?
Yeah, 3 wounds, toughness 5, and they've either got a shield which gives them a 2-up save, or one which gives them a 4-up invuln, and people seem to have a mix of half and half.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And then you can take cover with them when you get shot at, so they can go to a 1-up save.
And a 3-up invuln.
And a 3-up invuln, and I think had he got to go first, the Astropath could have done psychic barrier to make a 0-up save as well.
Wow.
So yeah, it's really good. But yeah, luckily I went first. I managed to kill the Bulgrin, and I had very little shooting left, and I just killed a few guardsmen. And then the rest of the game, to be honest with you, he just gradually out-attritioned me with better range. I had to deploy kind of like out in the open because he outranged me.
Yeah.
And the tank, he was able to do the pop in and out things with the tanks.
Yeah.
The shadow sword was backlined, so it was out of range of a lot of my things. And yeah, he just out-attritioned me in the end. It was quite a close game. He beat me 27-23. And I think at the end of the game, he had his shadow sword and his 2 tank commanders and a few characters left. And I had just characters left. And and what sort of caught me out at the end, actually, I didn't realise that the tanks my warlord was sort of hiding behind a crate. And one of his tank commanders, it moved, and then they can give themselves an order to move and fire. So it moved full distance again to see my warlord, and then shot him off in the last turn. So
Jesus.
That was a pretty cool little play, but that's just me being a bit sort of green on guard and not knowing what it can do and things.
Yeah, like me with the sisters in the last game.
But yeah, we had a cracking game.
They just popped back up in the chat, so hi Marco. Just talking about your game.
All right, Marco, you all right, mate?
So I take it you. What's
Game,
the
great
score?
list. He just outplayed me there.
Fair.
It's amazing, isn't it? What can catch you out if you don't know about it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like because I'm such a noob at Warhammer. When I went to Heat 3, I got caught out by just someone using Ultramarines because I didn't realise that they can just, like, what is it called? Auspex scan or Auger scan? Where
Auspex scan,
you deep strike into them and everything around them just shoots.
Yeah.
Oh, mate. Wait till we get to my last game. You're going to laugh your head off.
Okay, I might be jumping the gun. Let's crack on. So, your game 3, Dan?
Yeah, so I'll try and do a bit of a wrap up. So I played Mark Askell, who's part of Beast Coast. Now,
okay.
For those who don't know Beast Coast, they actually won the team ITC tournament scene. So straight away, and kind of knew I was playing against someone that kind of knew what they were doing compared to what I was. Yeah.
Interestingly enough, we came like 185th as a team, and I scored the most points. But whatever. Go on, tell me about your game.
UK though. I helped with UK score.
Yeah, exactly.
At the end. So we were custodians. So this is one I was talking at the start. They had the magic boxes and the wardens, the big blob of wardens. And I think I actually seized on Mark because he put, and this is where as well, excuse me, kind of learning how to work the secondaries, because I picked Mark for Death and Old School. Actually, Mark for Death is shield captain, who's his warlord, and you don't score both. So actually, end up killing his shield captain warlord turn one with psychic powers, just because how he placed a couple of his units. He deployed really aggressive, and I was able to just move to the side, smite off the troops, and then with more psychic powers and the Leviathan killed this his warlord turn one. So I had a really, really good turn one. Yeah. But I always failed on getting secondaries because I got the Old School and Mark for Death, so I didn't get warlord and one of my Mark for Death, so kind of like a learning curve there as well. Yeah. And then the rest of the game, it kind of, the obliterators dropped in, and the obliterators, it can be great, but when you roll one for minus AP against Custodes and you roll a 1 for damage, you're not getting through Trajan. If you do get through Trajan, you're only causing, or anyone, the Custodes with a 3-up save, you're only doing 1 damage, and it's a bit of a waste. It kind of, it can be a bit swingy in that respect. So and difficult. It made it, stuff like that made it a difficult game. And the magic box in the middle, I had to kind of be cagey with going around the center of the board and scoring objectives and outscoring him that way. So it ended up being really quite tactical of how the game panned out. Yeah. But in the end, my Sakaran charged Trajan, managed to survive 2 rounds of firepower with it, and then Araman warp time up the board into range and just Zinch's firestormed, and I needed to get 2 more to him, so I rolled 3 6s on him, and I got him. So just hit him. That's warlord that way. My little Sakaran's getting me line breaker as well. I was like, loving life. Amazing. It's still alive. So that ended up. I'll wrap it up really quick. Magic boxes are amazing for Custodes. Custodes really difficult to get secondaries when you can hide them really well. You got your -1 to hit banner on as well. Yeah. And I won that one 24-19. So
nice.
End of day one, sitting on 2 wins and a loss. So I was really happy with that.
And they're the games that you go for, aren't they? They're really, really close. You're having to think. It comes down to little daft things like that, like Araman warp timing up the boards and then getting them really, really good rolls off. That's the sort of games that you remember, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. He wasn't too happy with the amount of psychic power I had, and his Custodes were just failing all over the show.
But I've got
chin
a
drop game too. Yeah,
I mean, you are using the main librarian for the thousands. There's got to be some psychic.
And all of his mates. How many psychics did you have, Dan? Was it like 5, 6?
No, not that. I'm not wild, I'm not like. I had 4. I had 3, and I had my cipher conversion from Alpha Legion. Who was giving everything. I feel no pain. So yeah,
just 4.
Just 4. And one was casting 9 powers like Doombolt, which normally need a 9. He was casting them on a 5, and Death Hex, which is an 8, on a 4. So really cheeky with stuff like that. And they'll probably do clutch. Kind of little blob of units. So with these new assassin rules, I'm going to be quite nervous.
Yeah, a little bit. They do look super good. We haven't actually discussed them properly yet, but
I won't talk about them.
to Jively in the Twitch chat for trying to get the best troll off, which is pretty funny. But there you go. And Anvil says, just assembled my new Munitoran Priest last night. I'm pumped to Bulgrim bomb someone. But yeah, like Bulgrims are like, just as Tank said, they were just like super good. But anything that's toughness 5 with a vanilla one is just like so tough to shift. And then if you put it in a magic box as well, it's so tough to shift and you can't even shoot it.
I may or may not have ordered 9 Bulgrins recently.
I'm really nervous because it's like, don't forget, like March is like just a week away or something, and we've always got the dreaded FAQ coming out. So let's see what happens. Castellan's Bulgrins get super nerfed. Who knows? Who knows?
Don't order anything ever.
No.
Yeah.
No, exactly. So okay, so that's the end of day 1. Let's quickly run over game 4s.
Okay, game 4. I had a really crazy game actually. I had a chap called Scott, who was all my games were like lovely fellas.
Yeah.
And he had Magnus and 3 Chaos Knights. There were 2 double Gatler ones.
Wow.
And 1 double thermal one.
Yeah.
Then he had like a renegade guard. I guess you'd call it like a disloyal 32.
Disloyal, rowdy 32.
Anyway, I actually felt good about this game because I think Tau are quite good at killing knights, but I was sort of speaking to like Alex and the lads who know what they're talking about the night before, and they were like, "Oh no, this is quite a rough game for you because those Gattlers will just." You've got to send them all to drones and all your drones will be gone and Magnus will be on your face.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I just went into it and like he went first.
Oh no.
And I should have lost this game. I don't know how I won it.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
He went first. Magnus warp timed up. He did, I don't know what the spell's called, but Magnus has got a spell where he picks a unit and that unit and every unit within 3 inches takes D3 mortal wounds.
Oh, yeah. It's Gate of something.
Yeah, Gate something. And he got, obviously, the Tau castle quite tight. And he put that on me. And that sort of killed about half my drones.
Yeah.
And sort of scattered all wounds across, like, pretty much everything I had.
I'm going to find out what the power's called while you're talking.
It's called Infernal Gateway or something, isn't it?
Infernal Gateway, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and then the knights with the Gattlers, they pretty much took off all the rest of my drones.
Yeah.
And I think they managed to shoot off 2 broadsides as well.
Wow.
And then Magnus charged. And I managed to, I think I took 10 wounds off him in Overwatch.
Mm-hmm.
But then he charged my commander, killed my commander as well, and then he piled in and touched my full unit of 3 broadsides I had left.
Yeah.
So then going into my turn 1, I had no drones left. Yeah. I had 2 riptides and 1 broadside that could shoot.
Wow.
Because the full unit of 3 had been touched.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I don't know how I did it, but I basically I got some marker lights on Magnus.
Yeah. Was he powered up? Do you have a 3-up invuln at this point?
He had a 3-up invuln, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he might have failed the -1 to hit though, which was lucky. And then the 1 broadside I had that could shoot. Obviously, the full squad of broadsides fell back from Magnus, and the 1 broadside that could shoot. He shot at Magnus, and I think between him and like miscellaneous fire warriors and Shadow Sun, they managed to kill Magnus.
Wow. Impressive.
And then, yeah, and then
did he forget to roll armor saves or invulns?
He rolled pretty badly. I was lucky, to be honest.
Yeah.
And so Magnus died, and then. Oh no, that was it. Sorry, I had 2 riptides and a broadside, and I fired because my riptides had velocity tracker. They get +1 to hit against fly.
Yeah.
I shot riptide into Magnus. The riptide finished off Magnus on his own.
Oh wow, impressive.
Took about 8 wounds off him, which isn't unreasonable. I mean, it was lucky with 3 up invulns.
Yeah.
And then the one broadside who could shoot, he shot at one of the knights, the Gatler knights.
Mm-hmm.
He managed to sort of take a few wounds off it, and then I popped the focus fire strat for +1 to wound.
Yeah. No, you just throw a riptide into it.
I was cowie-on-ing as well this turn, because what was interesting, you know, the way that most people play cowie-on is if you pop cowie-on, nothing within 6 of the commander can move.
Yeah.
Gets reroll hits. The judges at LVO sort of FAQ'd it that things were allowed to move, but you just lost the rerolls.
Yeah, so if you stood still, you kept the rerolls, but if not, you could just move as normal, which is a bit weird.
Well, that was a big deal, because otherwise I couldn't have fallen back the broadsides and cowie-on, for example.
Yeah.
But anyway, this lone broadside, the one I had, it got some wounds off the knight, did some damage. I did the focus fire strat for +1 to wound.
Yeah.
And then this other Riptide turned round. It went like Super Saiyan. It took like 16 wounds off the knight.
Jesus Christ.
I was jammy with my rolls, and he was like awful with his saves. And the Chaos Knights, so they've only got like 4 or 5 up invuln or something.
They can get 4 up max, I think, because they're 5 up max standard.
Think,
and they have to rotate.
Somehow,
rotate demon shields or something.
The Riptide just about finished off this knight to the wound and killed it.
Nice.
Wow.
So with 1 broadside and 1 Riptide, I killed this knight. And all of a sudden, with like 3 things to fire, I'd killed Magnus Knight. He had 2 knights left, and it was a game.
Oh, amazing!
And I ended up tabling him. Oh no, I didn't take some Gribblies that were hiding in a far corner.
Did you not get to the naughty commanders or something like that?
Yeah, but it turned into a 27-14 win for me from nowhere. That
Saturday morning, just like, I'm gonna get nearly table turn 1. So what I'm gonna do is table him instead.
It's crazy. I couldn't believe it. It kind of made my weekend, that, to be honest.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. Well done.
His army was so cool as well, because the Renegade Guard were all converted to be like little orc dudes.
Nice.
And the knights were all like orc knights.
Yeah.
And his Magnus was, the AOS Rogue Idol.
Oh, no, that's so cool.
Yeah, and it had like the what they call what are like the little spear chucker orcs called from AOS.
Spear chuckers?
Like the ones that with the cunning rook.
I'm not sure.
Anyway, he had like the wizard guy from them stood on top of the Rogue Idol controlling it.
Nice.
So, yeah, it was a cool army.
Nice, that's really cool, man.
I've rambled on a bit, but it was worth it.
Yeah, it was worth it. It's alright, you'll just have to cut game 5 super short. So you're at 2-2, which is pretty good.
Yeah, it'll be easy to cut game 5 short because I got absolutely shafted.
Dan, game 4.
Yeah, game 4. So I was up against Custodies again. So
nice.
But a little bit different this time. So obviously straight away,
you know what they do.
Saturday night, kind of knowing what they do, I thought, right, kind of if I play it right, I've got this, and I'll be well on the way to a decent win. Mm-hmm. Played Matt. He's part of the Canada ETC team, and also part of the YouTube channel Beyond the Battlefield. And
Beyond the Battlefield. So go check them out. I'm sure they're awesome.
Yeah, he was a cool guy. The list was a little bit different to what I played in round 3. He had 2 squads of like 7 or 6 bikes, 2 field captain bikes, Trajan, and then kind of like your battalion just filling out with troops. So really maximising fast units which are durable and like a -1 to hit banner.
Yeah.
He went first, and I don't think he did a lot, to be honest. I'm looking at the score. He kind of moved out into like the middle of the board and just didn't really kill anything. A lot of the bikes shot, but with -1 and kind of like recover and stuff like that. I think he targeted one of my bigger squads of cultists, and I had 2 left, which he didn't have any secondaries like first strike or anything like that, so it didn't really matter if they died. So I still had quite a lot of firepower left. Mm-hmm. So then it came to my turn 1, and I decided, because of how I deployed, I put like cultist bomb on one side of all the characters, and they were out of line of sight 'cause it's a great big building. But right, I'll move these up the board, get them into the centre of the board, and have the characters kind of like behind, doing all the spells and stuff like that. It's pretty much what I did in game 3.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get line of sight on a lot of the units because they're on the other side of the this great big building in the centre, and he was able to deploy a lot of his stuff behind great big walls. Again, the line of sight rules at LVO, it's quite difficult to get target on anything that's kind of affecting -1 to hit, giving busts and stuff like that. So he then decided turn 1. I kind of looking at old school. I didn't get a kill in my turn 1 either, so really kind of cagey turn 1. So I thought he'd move turn 2, then continue to pounce on the Leviathan and Sakaran, because they're the ones that are going to ignore, well, especially Sakaran are going to ignore that -1 to hit banner. And Pokey just loves, as Tank showed against me at No Retreat, Leviathans love Custodes. They just get through that.
They do.
-1 or -2, depending on which variant, and they're just deleting Custodes for breakfast.
Yeah, anything with
So he
minus
decided
and
then
multiple damage, it's just shreds through them.
Yeah, he's brilliant for kind of those armies.
Yeah.
But what I didn't expect him to do was then move his whole entire army over to the other side of the board and just be within inches of the cultists. And I thought, oh no, I've messed up here.
Mm-hmm.
And with hurricane bolters on that many bikes, they just rinsed the cultists. Then I had Araman, the Terminator Sorcerer, my Cypher conversion, and my other Sorcerer all staring at really fighting Custodes, shield captains, just out in the open.
Just forget about push, bro. It never happened. Just go the other way.
just go back over there where the Pokey is. He loves you. And they're just kind of like there, swinging it out to the wind for everyone to see, and with no cover and no way of having anything to screen. And it just went this one. So I got complacent and thinking that I knew how to deal with the Custodes from game 3.
Yeah.
And I should have measured a bit more. So it was my fault for not kind of I should have moved everything, shunted it over to one side of the board where I'd had my Leviathan and kind of like a bit of a castle going on.
Yeah.
So I moved all the sorcerers and everything over there ready for turn 2, and then hit it turn 2 and everything moved forward again. But hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it?
You're
so,
like Saturday
morning.
To get
greedy,
I've only
went for
had
it,
one coffee.
and it didn't pay off. Yeah. Didn't have Bellagio's breakfast. That's what it was. I wasn't feeling the buffet. That's long walk from Hooters to Bally's was obviously got to my head.
Yeah.
So at that point, he just outscored me and outheld objectives. The Obliterators came down again, looking to snipe his Warlord, which was quite a key thing for me over LVO. I was able to just get behind and just drop them in and snipe characters off. But again, like with Trajan in the previous game, I rolled 1 for the AP, which isn't too bad against Custodes when you got 3 up anyway. But when you roll 1 for the damage, if you even fail one of those saves, it's not going to do much to them. So they failed to snipe the Warlord, failed to snipe the banner, and at that point it's just Custodes mopping up stragglers, and I cut it short. At the time I lost a big loss, 33-16. So the second game, when I lose, I lose badly. So it wasn't good, and starts. So
okay, Mike, we might have to have a meeting about Dan's future on the channel.
Getting complacent. What's he playing at? He's just beat Custodes once. What's he playing at?
I know. I've already got Dan messaging me saying, show me how a real man works, sisters. Views already.
We've been trying to get rid of Buchanan for ages, but
we've got another Dan B to try and push him out, and he's still not leaving.
Let's try and fudge the paperwork.
Okay, so both on 2-2. Two more games to slog through. I
couldn't spell his when I first added him on my phone. I got him on my phone as Dan Boo, so it's Dan BU. But he always calls me.
Yeah, you just cut out, mate.
Cut out for the punchline.
Oh no! What's he calling?
Oh no!
God. Dan.
Have we lost him?
It sounds like we lost him. Let's have a short intermission break.
Do you want me to roll into my game 4 while he comes back?
Yeah, go on then. You go into game 5 and I'll try and get Dan back in.
Game 5, yeah. So game 5, I played a chap called Zach. and he had a really strong sort of Eldari soup. He had, I think he had Harlequins. He had a Solitaire who he gave the Ignore Overwatch relic to because he was playing.
Right, yeah.
He had the Psyker guy who can let them double move. And then he had 2 units of 6 Skyweaver bikes and a unit of 2. And then he had some Prophets of the Flesh. He had, I think he had 2 units of 7 Grotesques.
Right. Wow.
Some racks to make up his battalion. He had the Vexator Mask dude, of course. And then he'd, like everyone else, he'd like souped in a bit of Eldar Psykers as well. And he also he had an Index Autarch Skyrunner with a Banshee Mask.
Okay.
So he had 3. Oh, I forgot one of the things that really screwed me over. He had a Solitaire with. Did I say the Solitaire with the Ignore Overwatch?
No.
So he had a Solitaire who ignored Overwatch, an Autarch Skyrunner who ignored Overwatch, and a Vexator Mask guy who ignored Overwatch. And we kind of deployed. It's the one with a massive shopping centre building in the middle of the table. And we kind of said this is like one of those first turn all or nothing games because he deployed his Grotesques right in front of my gun line in the open.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to obviously get him into that box in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And after the game, he said to me, if you'd have won the roll to go first, I would have said, let's get a beer.
Right.
But as it turns out, he won the roll to go first. The Grots moved into the shopping centre in the middle, and all the little characters and things, and the Solitaire. The bikes, they moved into like different L's on opposite corners of the board, so I couldn't see them at all. And then it was my turn, and all I could do was shoot smart missiles at the Grotesques. And I couldn't shoot any of my good guns at anything. So as you'd imagine, I think I killed like 2 Grotesques with smart missiles.
Yeah.
And then it was his turn. The Solitaire who ignores Overwatch blitzed. And he sort of had Riptides with his ignore Overwatch.
Yeah. Sorry, bit of feedback because I think Dan's joining us back through the warp.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi died, so I had to put the hamsters to bed. And now I'm just on my.
Good to have you back, mate. This
Sorry
about
that, Tank.
So yeah, the Solitaire blitzed, ignoring Overwatch, touched my 2 Riptides. The Autarch Skyrunner with the Banshee Mask, he charged, ignoring Overwatch, and touched my broadsides. I had tried to screen with my Fire Warriors and drones, but he had enough shooting with the bikes to sort of make himself a gap.
Yeah.
And yeah, basically the Grotesques came out the shopping centre, and when everything had been touched already by these guys that ignored Overwatch,
yeah, so he just did it
they all charged in. The bikes charged in, and I was like, well, that's it.
Game.
That was the game. I think I said just let me play one more turn because I can jump my Commander and Shadow Sun out and kill a couple of your little characters for headhunter points.
Yeah. And
then I said we'll just call it there, and it's obviously big points for you. And that was a Mr. Hands treatment that I lost 38-5.
It just sounds like
it's never nice having a Mr. Hands treatment.
Yeah. All I can think of is Grotesque coming out of shopping centre is what is it, Hot Fuzz? Is where they're all fighting in Summerfields against all the zombies.
It wasn't a true Mr. Hands. A true Mr. Hands is when you don't kill a single unit of theirs, and I think I managed to kill one.
Amazing.
You're not at my level then, mate. Yeah.
I'll get there.
So Dan, go on then. Tell us about Game 5. Short and sweet.
Yeah, hi, back again. So I played Phil from the Glacial Geek. Actually, and this was one of the funniest games of 40k I've ever had, just because Phil is just such a nice guy.
I've just got to say that, yeah, look, Glacial Geeks, he does battle reports here on YouTube. He's an absolute legend. He's so funny. He's really great. So I love his battle reports. They're really good. So carry on.
He's an absolute boss, isn't he? So he came in, and his list was, I think he had a gallant and a castellan.
Yeah.
And he had a load of Dark Angels, which I thought was quite cool. So he had the
He's a
Talon
massive
Master.
Dark Angel fan.
Yeah, 2 Talon Masters. Samael, who I kept referring to all game as Azrael, and he was getting, no, it's Samael. So, just getting my Dark Angel characters wrong. Yeah, and a load of aggressors, and I think just scouts, kind of just to make this really cheap battalion. And I don't think he had another knight or not. I can't remember if he had 3 or if it was just the 2. But he had first turn, moved everything up the board, moved like 1 squad of aggressors and his 2 Talon Masters and Samael behind 1 squad, and then split and went round because it's the same terrain as had been on 2 games previously. That's great building in the centre with another, and just kind of pop shot in.
Yeah.
At cultists, just trying to remove them for an easy kind of like first strike. So he got that, and it didn't lose too much. Luckily, the Castellan, I think he might have killed the Sakaran, which was kind of the main. Whenever I went up against knights, the Sakaran just instantly got deleted. Probably the weak point of this.
It's just a tank, isn't it? It's just a 3-up save. It's not going in or anything like that.
Exactly, especially when that volcano
good predator.
Yeah, it's like, with turn 1, I'll just put it back on the movement tray then. There we go, pack that up.
Yeah.
So he had an okay turn 1. He had Headhunter, Reaper again, because everyone took that against me in old school. I took Mark Death, old school, and Butcher's Bill, so killed 2 units a turn.
Yeah.
Thought I could do that with the list. So anyway, my turn 1 was brilliant. I removed his aggressors, so he screened to his characters with my psychic powers, and he kind of just looked at me like, "Oh, we've got I've done wrong." And I think I killed 1 of his Talon Masters, and I wounded another, and he was kind of like, "Oh no." Yeah. So, which was good for me. I did getting that power off, but I tried getting Doombolt off on the Gallant. So I thought if I could save a turn where I don't have to put any firepower into the Gallant, get Doombolt off. It's only moving half. It can't advance. So it can't do the full tilt stratagem.
Yeah.
So I just concentrate on firing at other stuff. Anyway, on a 5-up and a reroll, I failed Doombolt. So kind of like thinking, right, all my big stuff, a lot of my powers have to go into trying to dealing with this Gallant, because it's going to be turn 2 charging into all my stuff and causing havoc. So I couldn't target all the Talon Master of Samael. I had to kind of split and work out what I wanted to kill. So put a dent on the Gallant turn 1 and say killed a few bits. So took a lead to start with, so that was good. So I maxed out my old school Butcher's Bill. So I scored, I think, 5 points turn 1 to his 3 points.
Nice.
So I thought it was a good start. Turn 2, kind of similar, was just taking a kill here, kill there. Castellan didn't do anything for 3 turns, so his Castellan was supposed to. So the Gallant came as it should have, as I expected it to do turn 2, came up in front of a small squad of cultists, and then there was all the characters just waiting to be chomped at. And the Castellan with the plasma failed to kill, and with the siege break cannons on top, failed to kill a 10-man squad of cultists.
Well.
Yeah, and he was not happy.
I'm not surprised.
He nearly picked up and launched it. I thought he was going to Tom Brady it downfield. He was not happy. And for me, I was like, brilliant. It's going to be a turn where all the Gallant can do is charge 3 cultists, and then it's going to be deleted the next turn. So, and that's what happened. He charged the cultists, killed those. I just picked them up. Just going to stamp on them all day.
Yeah. And
my turn, I just moved everything out of range for the explosion. So all my stuff ran across the board, killed the Gallant. Yeah, and luckily the obliterators came in and did what they were trying to do against both the custody lists, which is come in and roll really well with a strength, AP, and damage. And I took off the remaining Talon Master, which I think it was his Warlord, and I might put a couple of wounds into Samael. So
nice.
They kind of actually did the business this turn.
Nice, dude.
I'll wrap it up because I appreciate that you've cut it short for time. Actually, turn 5, the Castellan came in and just that's it. You know, the dice changed. He just obliterated everything.
Castellan did.
Yeah, exactly. I struggled to get rid of the scouts, and then for me to win the game, I needed to get Ariman. I needed to keep him alive for one turn and walk timing into the to his deployment zones. I would have killed a couple of scouts, and I would have won the game by a point.
Right.
As I say, would have. Turned out that scouts on a 2-up save, I managed to hide from the Castellan because I didn't touch the Castellan. I think the only damage the Castellan did was overcharging his plasma against the Leviathan, and he, out of 10 shots with the plasma, caused 5 mortal wounds on himself. So, yeah, he did more damage to his own knight than I did. Yeah, going into turn 6, I just needed to survive his first round with a couple of scouts firing bolters. He did 2 wounds. I've got 2 2-ups to make, and what's spinning around, spinning is a 1 on Ariman's on 1 wound. So I was like, really kind of kick it. It was a great game, really close all the way through it, and I lost that one because of how all the secondaries work and killing more, holding more. You end up getting, obviously, maxing out that turn and beating me by about 4 points. I didn't mark it down, the score on this one, but I'm sure it was 4 or 5 points he beat me by. So I think about 24-29, 24-28 win to Phil, but absolutely cracking. I've not laughed that much, for so long in a game 40k. So yeah, pleasure to play again.
Well, yeah, that's the real win, isn't it? Right, playing against Glacial Geek. So just super
exactly,
cool.
And he bigged up the channel as well on his own stream. He tagged the YouTube and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so it was quite cool to see.
If you're listening back, dude, really appreciate it. That's really nice of you.
So gone from 2-1 to going into the last game with 2 wins still in 4.
Yeah,
3 losses. Losses, not.
So the final games, Tank. How did it go?
Okay, so final game. This was like the one that sticks in my memory and like hurts me the most all weekend.
The last
yeah, so I was kind of
the last thrust.
I was kind of sat there, just 1-2, lost 3. Yeah. Feeling a bit sorry for myself. I was like, I really hope I get something easy for the last game.
Yeah.
Anyway, I go on BCP. I've only got bloody Necrons.
And he was so happy.
I was like, yes, I've got Necrons. I don't. Some people know. I was involved in a bit of like a Necron genocide on stream once.
on his wargaming stream.
Pray for Jane.
The Necron community is going to enjoy this story. I did say to Dan, imagine how embarrassing it'd be if I lost to Necrons, though.
Oh, mate. God, don't tell me you did.
So I played a guy called Jason. He was a good guy. Well, obviously, he must have been one of the best players in the world. I know nothing
Vengeance
about
for Jane.
I know nothing about Necrons other than the melt to broadside. But anyway, Jason had 3 of these flyer things that look like croissants.
Oh yeah, the Dark Shrouds. I think they're called. No, not Dark Shrouds. It's the big Necron flyer, isn't it, from Forge World?
They're like little ones that look like croissants.
Oh, what are they called?
Oh,
you know what I mean, anyway.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
No, not that thing. Like a flyer that. The best way I can say it looks like a croissant.
Yeah,
and
like just the ones that
3 of those.
Dooms.
3 of those croissants, 3 of like the boat things.
Can't remember.
Some destroyers and some dudes.
Yeah. Night Scythe.
So we deploy.
That's it.
We deploy. We both. It's corners, and we both deploy really conservatively. So there's a lot of distance between us, and I get the roll to go first.
Mm-hmm.
And I sort of Montcar. I can't get in range of any of his flyers or his boats because they're right in the far corner.
Yeah.
But I think I kill a couple of the destroyers are in deep strike. And I think I kill a unit of Gribblies just so I can get hold 1, kill 1. And I've got a nice castle set up to sort of carry on the next turn.
Yeah.
Anyway, he goes on his one. And he was like, I've got a bit of a nasty trick here if it comes off. And I was like, oh, this sounds ominous.
Can I do that before you do the croissants? Did they have the gun or the transport on them? Because it's 2 different units.
He had like a big gun on the bottom.
Yeah, so it's the Doom sides. Those ones.
Anyway, these 3 croissants fly up, and it turns out these croissants can forego firing their big gun to do like a sort of orbital bombardment type thing.
Yeah, you need
But
3
it's
to do it.
It's not shit one like Space Marines get. This one when it goes off does 3d3 mortal wounds.
Nice.
So we pick the point on the battlefield right in the middle of my Tau Castle.
Oh no.
He says, okay, so on characters it's a 5-up, and on units it's a 4-up.
Yeah.
And if I get the roll, it's 3d3 mortal wounds.
Yeah.
So he says, Shadow Sun first. Oh, I've rolled a 5.
Oh no.
Shadow
Sun's
Sun's dead.
Oh no.
This like continues rolling 5s. He basically didn't miss a single one. He was like Ethereal, dead. Fireblade, dead. 6 of those drones dead. 6 of those drone unit dead. 6 of that. This broadside.
Vengeance for Jane.
Broadside dead. Mate, I was like, oh my god. He killed all my characters. I basically had, I think I had 4 broadsides and 2 riptides and a commander left and a few drones. And all my characters, I lost all my characters, my warlord, half my drones, and 2 broadsides to this bloody croissant thing. I was like, I thought, how come Necrons do so bad when you can do this? And he said like, oh yeah, it catches a lot of people out. But he said I was really jammy with my rolls, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I was absolutely devastated, and then the next turn, I've got this commander left. He overcharges his cyclic ion blasters and split fires on these 2 croissant things to get some revenge.
Right.
He kills them both. They both explode and kill my commander.
Amazing.
And he was
Oh
like,
my God.
He was like, I'm really sorry about this.
Like you at LCO, I'm really sorry. I've still got more broadsides to shoot.
Yeah, well, that was
So
like
at the end of we both had 2 turns. He brought the destroyers in, and they finished off my broadsides and drones.
yeah.
And I basically had 2 riptides and some fire warriors left. And he had his boats. I killed all the croissants.
Yeah.
And he had 1 unit of destroyers left.
Right.
And to be honest with you, if I'd have got jammy with my 3-up invulns on the riptides, I think it was maybe still a game.
Yeah, because they
Shows how bad Necrons are when they've done that for me.
Yeah.
Done that to me. But this guy Jason, he was a top guy, and despite absolutely bum raping me, he was like, and he said oh mate, he said my best mate's playing on the stream on the top table. Do you mind if we just call this a narrow win to me, and I can go and watch my mate play? And
nice.
I was failing my morale check by then, and I was just like, oh yeah, mate.
Yeah, please. I'll take that win. I'll take those points, mate. Cheers.
So yeah, the Necron community can rejoice because the Necron struck back.
Just for context, for anyone who didn't see that, so obviously Tank was at the Last Chance Open, which is the big ITC event in the UK run by Dice Index, and I was part of the stream team with the Honest Wargamer, and you played. Was it game 2? I think it was game 2.
Yeah, game 2.
So you played against the top UK ITC player known as Jane.
Top Europe, no less.
Oh, top Europe, there you go. With her Necrons, and she had 2 units of Destroyers, Raids, Doomsday Ark, the Forge World gunboat thing that's like an Annihilation Badge. And you went first, and you shot a unit of broadsides, killed half her army, and then Rob was like, I think that's the end of the tower shooting phase, and then I corrected him and said, no, that's 1 unit, there's another 2 to go. Killed, I think it's over 1,000 points in turn 1 in a 2,000 point tournament. So yeah,
mate,
so
this was like a straight reversal.
That was a hit, man. That was a hit.
Universe is back in balance again.
So there you go. So Vengeance for Jane was restored. So you went 2-4, I guess.
2 and 4. I was. I mean, I wasn't. I had a great time, and all my games were good, and I learned loads. But I was like disappointed with that. I'm not going to lie. I didn't want to. I wanted to win more than 2 games. I said to Dan before we went, I said I'd be like well happy with 3 and 3. I'd be over the moon with 4 and 2.
Yeah.
But I said if I win less than 3, I'm gonna like quit this mono codex lark and start playing Cancer Soups again.
So,
Gosh.
Dan.
Hey, mate.
Come on. Sort tank out. Tell him it can be done with mono codex.
Hey, he's not got mono codex.
It's a Heretic Astartes. It's all the same.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
It's just printed. It's just been printed multiple times.
That's it. You know, just forgot about Thousand Suns in the Chaos Space Marine book, so I just made an add-on. So yeah, when the BCP dropped and I noticed I had another Imperial Soup, I thought, oh, this weekend's going from bad to worse now.
Here we go.
Trying to recover some pride here and get a 3 for 3. So the sixth game, I played a lad called Ben. Now, I had what Tank probably wanted, someone that was fresh-faced to the actual game. He'd only played a couple of games of 40k. He'd come to LVO for a bit of experience, and
God,
that pretty much showed.
him?
I found him. I found that one
guy.
unicorn. Yeah. And he had a really, really powerful list and really strong. But he just, let's see where I've got it written down here.
he basically had V list, didn't he?
So he had Supreme Commander Shield Captains.
Nice.
He had a Cadia Battalion with 2 Punisher tank commanders. So
nice.
A lot of firepower, moving half range, all that shenanigans.
Yeah.
CP farming with Koros Aquila and Grand Strategist.
Of course.
Then he had a super heavy detachment. I can't remember which
house.
Which kind of house it was. Yeah, but he had 2 Helverins and a Castellan.
Nice.
Now, I knew he was going to beat me by 1 drop on the deployment, so I kind of left Leviathan because I knew if that was to get, again, touched or damaged by the Castellan, then it's going to be pretty much game over for me. I needed to be able to hit the guard, hit the tanks and stuff like that, hit the shield captains with Leviathan.
Mm-hmm.
So I had the same board again. I had a great big wall in front of me, so I just kind of left a little pocket, and he moved the Castellan rather than being in the middle where he could have moved either side of this great big building in the middle to like his right hand side of the board. So I just went to my right hand side with the Leviathan and hit it, which was perfect. He went first, and he pretty much full moved his tank commanders onto objectives, because you at the end of the round, characters scored you like bonus points if you're on the objectives.
Oh yeah.
You had one tank commander right on the objective, 1 just behind.
Yeah.
And like shield captains were just kind of like sitting back, and same with the Castellan, he didn't really move. Guards just spreading out. I'd used the Alpha Legion stratagem on just the Noise Marines and moved them like into line of sight blocking behind this building.
Yeah.
Didn't really kill much. I think again he killed the Sakaran because it's an easy kill with the Castellan. I think he had Butcher's Bill, and he killed my one of my cultist squad down to 1. So to prevent him getting up Butchers, I just spent 2 CP just to keep those alive, because I think I stole 1 from him as well, because I had Helmet the Third Eye on one of the Thousand Suns. So I had like 9 command points, which was quite a lot for me at the start of the game, because normally I was doing the Alpha Legion strat on the cultists and the Noise Marines, so I only did it on the Noise Marines. So I had a fair bit spare. But why not prevent Butcher's Bill? So my turn 1, I did exactly what I'd been doing previously. All the sorcerers just went delete on the tank commander, and that just blew up. The Noise Marines went forward, and everything else just started shooting all the kind of screening units. So all the guard units that were out and about, everything just kind of whittled those decks down. And what I did then, I took a leaf out of Tank's book on how to assault, and assaulted a squad of guardsmen, and then wrapped his tank commander completely and blocked, so it couldn't fall back from combat. And
you can't get shot, more importantly.
It can't get shot at, whilst I'm moving my cultist bombs and all my cultists up the board with the with the characters, casting all the powers. So turn 2, I think he started to move his Helverins up the board, so he really didn't like the -1 to hit on the Leviathan, so he decided he wanted to move rather than outrange me and just try and get those flat
keep shooting. He just run into some cultists by accident.
He started just moving up the board, like it was completely moving the full movement with these 2 Helverins and just coming towards me. He wanted to get over that.
I came over after getting bummed by the Necrons. I was like, what? I was like, why are his Helverins in your deployment zone?
I'm just rubbing. I've got a picture actually. I'll send it to Mike. He's like 13 inches away. He's like, oh, I'm not within 12. I'm like, I don't mind. You're still -1, and you're literally going to get smited off the board. So I say when. He had a great list, but the pilot wasn't. Like I say, he wasn't. He was just still so fresh to the game. So
he just tore him a new
that would have
one.
been me. That would have been me.
And then he used his. And the Castellan was doing quite a lot of the damage anyway, but he still couldn't see Leviathan. So Leviathan was surviving. I even put the Feel No Pain on that. So if any of the Helving fire did go through, he was getting quite a few of the wounds back and stuff like that. So it was quite cheeky, keeping Leviathan alive.
Amazing.
Yeah, and then the Castle, he spent, whilst Tank was over, he spent the CP to do the shield breaker on one of the Thousand Sun Sorcerers, but he didn't pick Aramin, he didn't pick the Warlord, he picked just a random sorcerer that had the Helm of the Third Eye, but were a CP drive, later on in the game. And he just decided to delete that one instead, but he kind of went through all his shooting and moved on to pretty much the charge phase and forgot about it. So Tank was like, oh yeah, well, don't remember, mate, you've got this. And I was, oh yeah, cheers. So we went back and did a few backsies for him, quite a lot through the game.
Like it's game 6,
deleted the sorcerer. Yeah. Deleted the sorcerer and then continued to do his charge phase, did the assault phase, and forgot again to charge one of his shield captains into Blob Occultist, which would have then got him within an inch of the Leviathan. And I was about to start my attacks, and I think it was my turn. In fact, I was starting my turn. He's like, "Can you go back, mate?" And I was like, I've already gone a couple of backsies already. I thought I had to kind of Tank was like. He walked away. He's like, I can't see Dan drop the hammer on this guy and to say no. So fresh face and lovely.
Sorry, mate, no CP farming left. No backseat farming.
No backsies now. I mean, because if he did, he would have killed the cultist with the shield captain. There was only a couple left that were screening, and he would have been able to get within an inch, and then
he just tagged
locked down the Leviathan. But instead, I just kind of
said, right, no child, this is 40k, and just like gunned him down.
Which is what a lot of the guys, when we were having dinner with them, they were saying you need to be like, you can't be giving, if you want to become like in the top 8 at LVO, you can't be giving backsies and stuff like that. And I thought, well, I've not had a losing tournament since my very first tournament where I had a Mr. Hands treatment. It all went wrong, and I've been doing like either 3 and 2 or kind of 4 and 1 kind of style. So
yeah.
I want to make sure I leave at Vegas with what Tank and I said we were going to get, at least a 3 and 3. So if it went to that, I knew I wouldn't be able to win the game. So I said, no, sorry, mate, we went back on a couple of things here. I've not done any backsies. I'm just, that's like, fair enough. He said, okay, that's, my mistake. I'm learning. But Tank had to walk off. He couldn't.
I bet he just pissed at him. It's like, this poor guy, his second tournament, the LVO Championship, is against the ruthless Dan.
I don't blame you, because if it was me trying to get like my third win that I really wanted, I'd maybe like, I don't know what I'd do, but it's not an easy decision. But no, it's just like this guy's like, oh, I forgot to do my charge. Can we do that charge?
That was like,
Dan, like, just have a good look at it, and he was like, no.
I was giving an R in it, and then but it didn't take away, luckily, because we got on quite well anyway. He understood it was a big mistake with him. It wasn't me being funny or anything like that. So we still had a really good rapport, still had a really good game. And then I think he called it at the start of term 5. I actually injuring myself playing 40k, can you imagine? Triple G. So he just said, let's call it, you kind of, you've outmaneuvered me again. The obliterators came in his backboard, took his warlord off, so I was getting my old schools, getting my butcher's bill. I think I'm maxed out on this game on all my secondaries, which was good. And then because he was being like, because I injured my knee, I was like, all right, we'll just chuck you some extra points. So it ended up being a 30-25 win to myself. So I was kind of like,
oh, well done, mate.
Got that third win, which was what we went for, and
Tank how it was done. Jay Hublin. I'm going to say Jay Hublin in the chat says, in the grim darkness of the far future, there is only bullying children.
Exactly.
We need to bring the heat next year, and I'll go 4 and 2 at least.
So Tank, you went 2-4. Dan, you went 3-3. So what were your final placings out of overall?
Oh, I don't even know. Like,
You looked.
Yeah, I just dead look.
I didn't even want to look. It'll keep me awake at night.
If I don't look, it's definitely top 100.
I came joined on BCP. It says I'm 318th, so there's quite a few. So
That's
I
pretty
ended
good.
up
Top
being.
half.
I had a couple of other UK YouTubers that were out there.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Happy with that.
And let's say Tank came 319th, just to keep him.
Yeah.
319th Tank.
So I do recommend anyone like who's kind of and ahhing or sitting on the fence going. It's such a cool experience. You have all like the convention on at the same time that you have access to.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to stealth your water in and your drinks because you've got a guard there saying no. Even if you buy water from the casino you're in, or like food or anything, you can't actually bring it into the convention at the back of the casino. So
wow,
yeah.
Okay.
So, what did you say to that lady, Tank? They're reasonable prices these, and they really were.
Well, it was. If you remember, we were queuing for coffee behind King Kenny, weren't we?
Yeah.
And Kenny got these 2 coffees, and the coffees were like $5 each.
Oh my god!
So she was like $10, and Kenny was like, sounds reasonable, you know. He's like. So then we went the next day, and she charged us like £5 for these coffee, £5 each for these coffees, and I was like, oh, sounds reasonable. Stan was saying it sounded funny when Kenny said it, but when I said it sounded like the truthful thing ever.
So food and drink was quite expensive, I presume.
Yeah, it was like
menu.
It was $8 for a beer, $5 for a coffee, and we
for a bottle of water.
Yeah, we went actually out into the casino for lunch every day because they had like a really nice burger place.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Fair enough. So overall the event was really good. The venue was good. The terrain was pretty decent. To be fair, they did have 800 players, so maybe some tables were a bit sparse compared to others. I suppose like it's kind of like you can think it's really convenient that they have the terrain all in like one box and they like lay it out on like rows of tables. But it's a shame that you've, like you said, Dan, you've played on basically the same table 3 times.
Yeah, I really like to go New York town, but
maybe they need to shuffle the table numbers a bit. And keep it
interesting.
Yeah, it's a fantastic event though. I mean,
yeah.
And if you're not into the sort of competitive stuff, they've got like AOS and narrative, and we probably won't have time to talk about the doubles tonight. But we had so much fun in doubles on Sunday.
How was it? How was the so you played the Long War guys? Obviously, like you got Next Level Painting, you've got the Long War, you got Spiky Bits, all running a doubles tournament on the Sunday, is it?
Yeah, and it's like 70% soft scored.
Okay.
On like painting and sports and army theme.
Yeah.
And only 30% on your win-loss record.
Okay.
And we don't know where we came yet because apparently Kenny's was ill after LVO, and we know we didn't win.
Yeah.
But they've not published the full results yet. So I'd imagine we did all right because we...
How many games did you win?
We won 2 and lost 1.
Yeah.
And...
The last was really narrow though. If we had a couple more, a bit longer, because the rounds were a bit shorter.
Yeah.
If we had longer, been able to probably have like snatched a win there, I reckon.
Yeah, but all I felt like our army was among the nicest painted ones I saw there, without sounding arrogant.
Yeah, so you took Custodes with Valdor, and what did you take, Dan?
I took Catachan artillery and some.
We will have dropped some points because you needed to have like a display board to get maximum points, and obviously we couldn't fly over.
What do you expect to do?
We literally
sand and some glue while you're there.
Yeah.
We flew with our cases. They went in the hold, and then I had clothes in my backpack with my books, and that was it. Nightmare. So, yeah.
So, well, fair enough. So overall, the event was really good. Any complaints? Like, let's be honest. Not everything's perfect, except for the price of things. Was there any other complaints that you make? Things you could improve, or generally was it just really good?
To be honest with you, I can't fault it personally.
Fair. Okay.
Yeah. Probably the only critique I can give it is probably the start of round 1, where there was like 30 minutes wasted just because BCP was being overloaded.
Yeah.
But again, can't really fault them on that. A lot of people around the world are wanting to see who gets paired. because it's sponsored, so everyone has access to it. Everyone there's trying to get to find out who their first game is at the same time. So I think it just all crashed and couldn't really cope.
Yeah, because the entire event's run through BCP because you just couldn't have a write down your scores and hand it in system at that size. It'd just be unreal. So if BCP goes down, the event goes down, which is a bit of a nightmare. But it's realistically.
And if the guys are still in the chat, by the way, we apologise. Tank and I were late for our first doubles game because we were sat there waiting for BCP to do the pairings, and then we kind of went up to a board and we saw chatting away, and we spotted that there was doubles going on, and we kind of oh no, just found Kenny. And the two lads there were, oh yeah, if we thought we wouldn't get a game, we've been like wasting like 20, 30 minutes of me and Tank. And BCP took on the fact that they were checking people in, but actually Long Wars weren't using the app, so we kind of like we were sat there.
Oh no, nightmare.
Yeah, so but that's not on the LVO. It's that's the Long Wars and BCP, but LVO was fantastic.
Yeah, I'd say like really the highlight of it for me was getting to socialize and make friends with a lot of the faces you see around the top tables at like Cali and Hellstorm and things, and
the big
people
names.
you say hello to and let on to, but never really get to meet properly. And
yeah, that was good. You got a chance to actually sit down, have a meal with people, get to know these guys, and get kind of find out what they're all about and stuff, which was really cool.
Nice.
Yeah, we had a really awesome like sort of UK crew of like a dozen guys, and we sort of had dinner together and hung out afterwards. That was my favourite bit, probably.
Yeah, that's really cool. So definitely going to do it again next year, 2020 LVO.
If I can afford it and I've got time and everything, I'll sort of do everything I can to go again next year.
Yeah. I think if you want to make a push for any kind of ITC rankings, if you want to do well in that, if you don't go to LVO and you really want to become like number one in the world, not going to LVO is a big mistake, because as Alex Harrison did, he was kind of like 20th or something around that line. And
I don't think it was even that. I think he was like he was in the top 100, but like 60th or something.
Yeah, but because obviously there's so many players, each placing's worth so many points.
Yeah,
like Dan, you got like similar amount of points to me, coming 318th to when I came fifth at the Alliance Open. So
yeah, that's when we said earlier we actually bumped the Hellstorm up a couple of
places
in the team in the UK. Yeah, because I think did Toby come third at event and get just about one more point than me, and I'm 318th, 319th, and I've got just the same amount of points over 100. And
I
think I got about 70 points for my shitty thing.
Yeah, I think I had a look earlier because I was looking at the ITC rankings. I was trying to work out when they actually reset. But like from that Team Hellstorm, like the top three scorers is me coming fifth at a 120-man event with like 86 points. Toby coming fourth at a 40-man event with like 84 points, and then Dan coming 300th with like 83 points.
Yeah,
it's just amazing.
No place for Hellstorm other Dan in the top three of our group.
No,
so I'm happy with that.
It's a nightmare.
Coming in,
replacing
him. Yeah.
So guys, well done. Glad you had a great time.
Yeah, sounds like it was a good weekend.
Yeah, have you all got anything to add, Elliot, before we move on?
Not really. No, I think it was pretty well covered. I mean, one thing I did want to say, not to make it sour for your Tank, but it is a bit of a shame almost that you've had to go to the other side of the world to sit down with those people that you meet at tournaments.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if that was more of a thing over here, and it didn't have to go into Las Vegas to get in with those people, as it were. But that's the nature of it, isn't it? We all know how busy tournaments are. You're worried about who your next opponent is, if your army's on the tray, if your codex and all stuff's neat, and you've got time to get food. You don't always have time to chat to the people that you want to chat to. So
yeah, it's just like you're on holiday, aren't you? But
yeah,
when you do local events, people are wanting to get home and stuff. So
yeah, and also the great thing is you've got every big name ever all in one place. So you can at least go and say hello. Like, obviously...
I wanted to hang out with us, which is crazy.
Obviously, you Tank, you're a massive fan of King Kenny from Next Level Painting. I've watched that guy for years. I'd love to meet him. I used to watch all of his live streams and stuff.
I've never seen anyone so excited. I actually saw someone and thought, "Oh, is that Kenny?" And like Tank was like trying to get us to
It's just
speed up, and it turned out it wasn't. But yeah, brilliant.
Well, no, that's
He was a
really
cool dude, though. Really cool. You know.
Yeah. Obviously, you,
Russell.
Dan, you got to meet Glacial Geek, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So like, you got all the names there, and like everyone under one roof, all playing, Warhammer, which is super cool.
Tank was a mini celeb though. Like I said, Marcos, he's saying him and his mate came over, and when I finished my game, I went to see how Tank was doing in that game 3. And they were saying, "Oh, we were talking about Tank's 9 broadside list and stuff like that." So Tank was mini celeb as well, which was quite cool.
Mini celeb.
Oh my!
I was only a little bit jealous.
Funniest one was when I had that. I was going in the hall the night before to have that practice game. I was like walking in with like Nick Nanavati, like probably the most famous 40k player there is.
Yeah.
This guy come up to us and he's like, "Oh, you're Tank, the Tau guy."
Amazing. Hellstorm Wargaming worldwide.
Yeah, you guys are getting some good reach over there, mate. I tell you.
Yeah, well, I was saying to you the other day, like the statistics for the channel views is like it's like 30% UK, 30% America, then 40% is like split across everywhere, which is like crazy, really, when you think about it. Like equal amount of people in the UK watch our battle reports compared to the US, which is like bizarre.
Yeah.
Usually it's hard to break through those markets, but there you go. It's all about ITC, right?
Game. Yeah, the first doubles game, they took our picture like, "Oh, our mates want to see who we're playing from Hellstorm," and like,
really?
"Can we take the pictures?" And we tag like the other side of the board, like, "Hey."
How uncomfortable did you feel on a scale of 1 to 10?
I loved it.
Dan was just like, "This is the life. This is the future."
Yeah.
I remember I was at Warhammer World once, and this Scottish guy was like, he like slapped me on the back and was like really, really friendly with me, and I was just sat there with my Coke, not used to it. I was like, "Hello, hello, who are you?" And he was like, "Oh, I watch all your battle reports. Can I have your photo?" And I was just sat there like, "Hello, this is weird." I think we were under sort of 3,000 subscribers back then, so
yeah,
it was a bit kind of, you go to Warhammer World and you just think, you don't even think anyone's going to recognize you. It doesn't even enter your head as a thought.
You wear the t-shirt to advertise, not because people are going to recognize you. It's like, please check out
you
my
want
channel.
People to go home and look at it, and then someone actually goes, "Oh, do you mind if I have your photo?" And it's like, why are you trying to steal my identity? You don't even put 2 and 2 together.
We're in full kit though. We had the Hellstorm t-shirts and we had silkies on, the pair of us.
Nice.
So we were
proper Hellstorm uniform, that everyone. So, if anyone in the chat, thank you very much for listening. If you got any questions, then do let us know. We'll try and get them answered before we do go. But I'm going to do a little bit of announcement. So we've kind of been teasing it for a while. We've kind of finalised it now. But I'm going to be going to the LVO next year, hopefully with Tank and Dan, and hopefully with the other Dan. I think the other Dan's kind of like a bit and ahhing at the minute. But are you coming, Elliot? Do you want to go to the LVO? Fancy it?
Well, I was going to ask, and I don't know whether this is cheeky, but I think other people would be willing to know as well from the UK. How much do you think you could do it for? I don't want to know how much you guys spend on it, but how expensive is it, and how realistic is it for sort of like casual 40k game? Is it like a proper commitment where it's like in the thousands?
I mean, obviously it's not cheap, and flights vary a lot based on like oil prices and things, as you know.
Yeah.
But we did it for. We were umming and ahhing on the fence, and I'd set Skyscanner up to watch the prices and give me updates.
Yeah.
The app on the phone, and I actually remember I was in London working, and I was in a Starbucks at like 6:30 in the morning having a coffee before work, and it pops up a notification that the flights had gone down to like 370 quid.
Yeah.
And I didn't even ask Dan because it was so early. I just bought them.
I woke up. It's like we got tickets for Vegas. And, oh, sweet! How much do we?
Cool, you owe me 40 quid, mate.
For us, it was $375 for the flights direct from Gatwick with Virgin. We stayed in Hooters Hotel, which is one of the cheapest ones on the strip.
Right.
And that came to about 225 quid each for 5 days.
That's not too bad to say you're in Vegas.
Not terrible.
It is quite basic and a bit grotty, and it's also like a 20-minute walk to Bally's.
Right.
And I think next year it would be worth saving up to stay at the venue.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just so
get
you
a
can
little
go
bit
straight
closer.
downstairs.
We got really lucky in that Alex let us keep our cases and our armies in his room,
Nice.
and we could just we could just walk with our backpacks to Bally's, go up to his room, get our army, and go and play.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been a ball ache if we had to carry our cases up and down the strip every day.
Yeah.
Plus, it was cold in Vegas. It was their winter, and I was in shorts and.
And then you're like, oh, it's US. It's going to be sunny. There's going to be babes in bikinis everywhere.
So your tickets for the event are probably about 80 quid all in. And then if you're going to be honest with yourself, you're probably going to need about £100 a day spends.
Yeah.
You could get by and eat well and have a couple of beers each day for 50 quid. But if you want to have like a bit of a gamble and blow out,
enjoy Vegas as it's intended.
Yeah, but I'd say
$30 for that Bellagio breakfast, or you can eat buffet, which is.
Yeah, I'd say we probably spent about 1,200 quid each.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were to be like comfortable and you got a reasonable deal on the flight and stayed in Bally's, you'd probably need to sort of save up like $1,500, I'd say.
Yeah.
So I mean, what's that, like 150 quid a month between now and Vegas?
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Next year.
It's not too unrealistic. Say if you're going to plan it properly, if you decide to go in October, then maybe you've had it a little bit. But if you can't plan it, then fair.
Even if you do like a 2-year investment, you're waiting to go to 2021, you can cut that down, £50 to £75 a month, just saving, and you should be okay.
Well, it's a goal at the end of the day, isn't it? It's not. It's not like going to LCO or something where realistically you can just think, that's just one night out. Yeah. It's a proper goal to work towards, isn't it, and to save towards. So
you're going on holiday. You're going to Vegas, which is just like just an unreal place to go to and then you're playing in the biggest 40k tournament in the world, ever so far.
Blackpool on steroids.
Blackpool on steroids. There you go. So
I don't think I'd want to go next year, only because I feel like I'm not a good enough player to properly enjoy it, if that makes sense. I think I'd probably want to do a season in the UK and learn, and then kind of maybe 2021.
So
be
Elliot LVO 2021 confirmed.
2021 confirmed. Yeah, next year's a bit too soon. I need to hit more tournaments before I think about flying out to it. I think I can imagine spending all that money and then going like 0 for 6, or maybe 1 for 5.
I think even if you just won one game or even none, I think you'd still enjoy yourself as long as you have realistic expectations.
But would you get the most amount of enjoyment out of it as you would if you'd spent a year just putting it off and then thinking, right, no, I'm gonna really smash it this year?
Yeah, I mean, me and Dan thought we'll really smash it and practice hard, and we did pretty shit. So, I know what you mean.
And Elliot Tank taught you what he helped you graduate from Warhammer school. So
he did.
Learn.
Yeah,
Tank needs to go to Warhammer school.
He took me to Warhammer school and then beat me on that report.
Hey, Alex is in the chat. I just seen.
Yeah, so I was just going to say, Anvil C5 says, we're so lucky in the States, Las Vegas is so cheap to fly to, like $150 round trip. That is cheap. But then Alex Harrison also says, lads, next year is pure sesh, gin / SoCo every night. Well, I can't wait. I'll write all your lists so you can at least go for too.
Yeah, he's going to give us a sponsor.
Deal. I'll come back.
There we go. So, Warhammer University, as taught by Alex Harrison. So, as I said, if you've got any questions for Tank and Dan about the LVO, then obviously do ask now. Congratulations to Alex, who's in the chat, coming second. We just want to make a little bit of an announcement. So, basically, we've been teasing it for a little while, but we're going to be starting a new series on Hellstorm Premium, starring Tank and Dan, and the other Dan and me, and we're going to be aiming for best in faction for our chosen codex, but we've got to make sure we can only use our chosen faction for each ITC registered event. So have you guys chosen what faction you're going to be going for? Or are you still
I'm not included in this.
You're not going to LVO?
Oh, I'm not going to LVO. Is Dan definitely going to LVO?
The thing
don't
is, you
think
don't
so.
need to go to LVO. You can just do it on UK ones.
You can just do it
Yeah,
yourself
is it-
if you want.
I'm not going for best in faction, but I'm going to be doing the one codex challenge thing.
Yeah. So what you
Yeah,
gonna-
so just see how high you can rank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the UK, because your Vegas score doesn't get added to UK one, so you can see how well you did in the UK. And,
There you
That's
go.
true. That's true. Okay. So I'm going to be chiseling. Like basically, we're going to try and keep it as mono as possible, but we're limiting ourselves to ITC faction, which is basically your biggest detachment in your list. So I'm going to be chiseling the Blood Ravens to the best of my ability. I'm taking Codex Space Marines to LVO 2020. So what do you guys know what you want to take, or are you kind of like umming and ahhing? I know Dan in the chat, other Hellstorm Dan. We need Dan 1, Dan 2. I think Dan 1 is taking Sisters of Battle to the LVO. How cool's that? They definitely won't have a Codex.
Cerritos.
They definitely won't have a Codex by then, even though he thinks they will.
Yeah, I'm doing. I'm going my first love in 40k, the Space Wolves.
Yeah.
I will be
Mika.
souping a bit because they're terrible. But yeah, I've been. Alex has actually been helping me out with some secret tech for them, so I'm gonna shock the world with.
Watch this
I need
space.
to message to Alex. I need to have a message, Alex. Alex,
I need to just befriend Alex. Alex, become my friend.
at me somewhere, and we'll have a chat.
You'll probably see the secret tech on the channel, won't you, Tank, over the coming months and stuff. So
Yeah, well, if you do want to see that, then it'll be our super secret ITC chiseling lists. It'll all be on premium, so there you go. Please subscribe.
I'll be
because we
probably
are four.
taking Chaos Space Marines myself, Mikey.
You're gonna do pure Chaos Space Marines. So we've got Space. Well, I'm going for Astartes. It'll mainly be Blood Ravens, but I'm going to be souping with some cheeky stuff. Dan's using
I mean,
Sisters.
a year's a long time, so you may as well give yourself like something that gives you a bit of flexibility to do different stuff. So
Yeah, I'm hoping it's a bit of a gamble. I'm going to be like, oh look, I'm playing the worst codex in the game, and then like 3 weeks before LVO, like the new codex will come out. I'll be like, yeah, this is the most broken codex there is. I'd be like, oh look, I've done really well.
that's what happened to Charlie, isn't it?
Yeah. So Charlie is another lad. He's doing Death Watch. And then you're doing Space Wolves and Chaos Space Marines. And Elliot, who are you doing? Do you know yet?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Death Guard.
You're going to do Death Guard.
Yeah,
Nice, dude.
I know they're not very strong. I don't think they were in the top 20 at LVO, but I've been keeping up with a few blogs from a few of the people who went to LVO. Like Don Houston did really well.
Don Houston is doing really well with Death Guard. So
yeah, so I've been reading his blog and I've been keeping up to date, and I'm thinking I want to get my Death Guard on.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that people are calling him Papa Nagels. Every time he gets a Death Guard out, he does really well.
Yeah, so I'm gonna watch what he's doing and then probably play quite similar to that.
Yeah. Dusty Dean is in the chat. He says,
He's,
hey, it's Dusty from Danny's first game. There you go. Hi, Dusty.
Oh, yeah, sweet. Dusty.
Yeah. So
not
Toby's
bad.
also involved.
Yeah,
I'm
they-
not sure what faction he wants to do. He was like umming and ahhing between Blood Angels, Grey Knights, and Imperial Guard. But what it means is like we all get to like have a bit of fun, try and see who gets the highest player of their chosen faction. So Dan went for Sisters, thinking there was no one playing Sisters, and then Dan got his shit pushed in by
263 or
one.
something.
So,
Yeah.
so just to confirm, what is our little competition we're having? Is it who can get the highest UK ranking in their primary faction?
I mean, I guess. Well, the thing is, it's like I guess we're gonna have to do UK if we've got Dan and Elliot who aren't going to
Yeah.
the LVO.
And then you can have the LVO as your little
Yeah.
final
the
boss.
final boss.
Tell you what, like
Epic
my
Game
personal
Plus.
opinion is, let's do it as the UK
Yeah,
because otherwise you can kind of like buy yourself to victory by going to the LVO.
yeah. Let's do that. Let's say worldwide, so we all
And
get
also-
higher than Dan and Elliot.
Yeah, let's do it as UK only. And firstly, because of that, and secondly, because when it comes to LVO time, we need to just take the strongest, most broken thing we can find.
Okay, that sounds
Maybe
good. Well, there you go. We're making up the rules on the fly
our
live.
allegiance to that.
Yeah, you don't want to be going off to LVO with something that is going to handicap yourself
I'm definitely
Right.
taking Blood Ravens.
and being like, oh yeah, but I'm trying to prove a point and just not enjoying your weekend.
Yeah, like I
Take your
almost
Reaper Titan.
I almost wish I didn't take cap.
Hopefully someone will just buy it off me. Hopefully I'll be able to sell my Reaver Titan so I can afford to go.
Yeah.
Like a ninja in the chat said, someone should play Necrons with a Kappa face.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Just get some of them croissants. That's all you need.
3
Yeah,
croissants and
croissants.
hopefully play people who don't know what they do.
They're the new.
So there you go. There's
was-
a little
that was
special
LVO.
announcement. That was LVO. So we're basically from March. We're going to start doing some more super competitive ITC stuff on the channel. So make sure you do check that out.
Where do you find the rankings again, Mike, in case anyone's interested in seeing how we do?
So I can post a link in the chats. But
Yep.
obviously you can just Google search 40k ITC rankings and it comes up with the Frontline Gaming website. It's like frontlinegaming.org or something like that.
I think they've moved the Best Coast pairing now. Oh no, they're still there, aren't they?
I found it anyway. So, Cold Touch 5 says, please make Tank play Necrons. I feel like you should definitely play Necrons.
To defeat the Necrons, you must become the Necrons.
Become one with it.
Become
So-
one with the Necrodermis.
Yeah, so when is LVO? So obviously the last one was not this weekend, just gone the weekend before. What was it, the 9th and 10th?
Be like start of February.
Yeah, 8th, 9th, 10th of February. The next one will be February 2020. So it's in a year's time. So we got the whole... I'm trying to work out when the scores reset so we can start like posting about our rankings, but we'll see. But my first ITC event isn't till April at this point. So
Yeah.
because I'm just busy. I think Dan's first one is going to be the SNGT, I guess. Because we got Heat Finals in March, you see.
Is Hellstorm not ITC, by the way? Oh, you're not doing it, are you?
I'm running it. I'm not playing it. So, yes, the Hellstorm
Yeah,
event
we're not playing.
is the first major in the UK on
Whey.
ITC. So,
Tank and I are playing, so...
yeah.
Yeah, I was hoping to do Glasshammer. We're doing a one-day event in March, but it got cancelled, unfortunately.
Wait, playing at Alex. Sort it out.
So yeah, Alex knows how brutal the croissants are.
Yeah.
Number 2 player in the world knows what's going on with them.
There we go. Cheeky stratagem.
Feel less bad now. Getting bumped. Necron.
Well, the thing is, I'm pretty sure that stratagem you do need to have 3. Okay, similar to the
Yeah, you
Predator
do.
one. So, well.
Interestingly, Vindicators do the exact same thing.
Yeah. It just no one plays them. But no one plays Necron, so you go.
Give me some space. These.
I think that's going to be the end of the podcast. I think. Have you guys got anything else to add? Tank?
No, I think we've
No?
gone on long enough, haven't we?
Dan, have you got anything to add?
No, we covered a lot there, mate.
Cool.
You're good.
Elliot, have you got anything to add before we go?
You know I'll have plenty to add. But none of it's appropriate.
None of it's appropriate.
So,
Fantastic.
Let's just end. Yeah.
So there you go, guys. Thank you very much for listening. That was the Hellstorm Wargaming podcast number 9 bonus podcast.
It's not number 9. It's 8.2.
It's number 9. It's the 9th podcast in the series.
We're gonna fall out.
So if you did enjoy the podcast, you can support us. You can check us out on Twitch and follow us on there. You can also subscribe there. YouTube, you can hit subscribe or you can click the join button to get emotes in the live chats for both. And also you can check out hellstormwargaming.co.uk for Hellstorm Premium. It has more battle reports behind the cheeky paywall that costs like about a coffee a month, something like that. That's what people say when it's really cheap. It's like a coffee. So...
Not an LVO.
Can you
No, that'll be
forget?
a coffee, yeah.
Yeah, it's an expensive coffee, but it's a coffee. It's like a coffee with syrups in and cream on top. That's how expensive it is a month. So thank you very much for listening, everyone. Thank you again, Tank and Dan, for coming on and chatting about your experience. Hopefully we'll have you on another podcast soon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
love
definitely,
to.
man.
Have you guys had a nice time?
Yeah, it's been class.
Good sound.
You've been gentle.
I've been gentle, unlike a couple of the opponents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like them Necrons.
Like them bloody Necrons.
Oh.
So there you go.
Awesome.
We've been Hellstorm Wargaming. You guys have been fantastic, and thank you very much for listening. Hopefully, we'll catch you next one, which is going to be not this Wednesday coming up, but the Wednesday after. So, thank you very much, and bye-bye.
Tuesday the 5th.
No, everyone.
Bye.
Good night.
Well, there you go. That's the end of the podcast. Is there anything else for anyone to add before we actually kill the live stream? I think that's pretty much covered everything. Good. Elliot, you all right? Should we call it a day? It's quite late.
Absolute silence.
We did go on for like 2 hours rather than an hour and a half.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I do need an opponent for tomorrow, otherwise I'm going to end up playing you.
Yeah, I need to edit because our bat reports are very, very, they're dwindling right now.
Yeah, so
A
I
week off and it.
don't really know what to do if nobody says that they can.
But all right, well, we'll end the podcast there. We'll worry about you guys. Don't worry about that. Meme review is coming out next week. I'm going to be finished that editing that on Saturday, and that'll be the next video on YouTube. Otherwise, thank you very much, everyone, and good night.
Hi, guys.